Hello everyone, this is Termuse, and today I'm picking up where I left off in OmOneko. Um, yeah, where did we leave off? it does still seem to be catering towards that certain demographic, that certain target audience that I kept alluding to. I mean, what with the whole interaction with Pepper and the keys and all that. Um, yeah, we'll see where this goes. Let's just pick this up again. We just had that whole story time sequence. The reading the comic book. That was kind of. I mean, the art style and all that going on there was kind of neat. That looks like that was a bit of a fun aside. Hey, and Dev is here. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Cat time again, indeed. See where this goes. You gonna come out of there, or come out of here, or what? It's a strange sight. First, that all three Nekos are so close to each other, looking at me from the kitchen window, and second, that none of them have come out yet. Seeing all three framed in the window like a far too big photograph makes a seemingly endless stream of concerns and doubt flood back. Can I really care for three Nekos? It's not just the monetary cost of feeding and clothing, what are essentially three people, but also the emotional cost, the attention they require to be healthy and happy. God damn it, Goro. I mumble to myself, although I can only blame him for Pepper. Shimi is, well, if anyone's to blame for Shimi, it's me. And maybe Shimi. And probably Mia. I push the thoughts out of my head as best I can. It's a gorgeous afternoon, and the grill is nice and hot. Pepper's eyes are wide at the sight of the grill, but she also has a deep, diabolical, scheming expression. Claudia wears a pleasant smile as she gazes out past me into the distance. Only Shimi's eye and ears are visible as she peeks from the window's edge, studying everything in the yard. What are they waiting for? Shimi I get, but Claudia and Pepper come out here all the time. I guess no one wants a burger. Kant has a cheeseburger, apparently. I sometimes feel like I spend most of my life cooking for Nekos, but you know, it's not a bad life. Despite everything, I feel pretty good. I have three Nekos, but no one knows about it, and I'm doing a remarkable job of weathering all the chaos. Besides, I really like cooking. I especially like cooking for my girls because they appreciate it. My girls. Oh, yes, meat. As meat hits the grill and starts to sear, Claudia comes out carrying a large plate. Ready soon. Yep, very soon. Is everything on the table? Mm-hmm, all set. Rolls, sauces, tomatoes, mustard. Yeah. Pickles? Claudia wrinkles a nose. She doesn't like pickles. Pickles are excellent, so yummy. For you. And that's what matters. She smiles and shakes her head at my teasing, which caused me to laugh. I just, one of the comments I made earlier, Dev, you mentioned that it was off-putting that Claudia speaks all of them speak in incomplete sentences. In an off-putting way, and it occurs to me, like, I wonder if there's going to be a plot twist later on where they just start speaking in full sentences, and it's like, oh, actually they were fully capable all along, and they've just been playing dumb for reasons. Anyway, moving along. Oh, Shimi emerges from the doorway, stepping outside into the sunshine. I always envisioned her to be more of a night owl, but it's good to see her outside regardless. The sound of a not-too-distant car engine caused her to suddenly retreat back inside. Ah well, at least she tried. Pepper finally springs out of the back door, sniffing the air. She gives me a curiously devious glance. Get him, Pepper! And then begins prowling along the fence line of the yard. Maybe she's looking to catch a rat for me to grill up? Yuck, can you imagine? Good luck to her, still, yuck. Shimi tries again, and actually ventures out a bit this time, but still not very far from the door in case she gets overwhelmed. She ignores the other two Nekos, mostly focusing on me, which makes sense. I'm the alien in her world. Although fully on guard, Shimi curiously watches me, the human that gives sashimi and burgers. I think it definitely helps that Claudia and Pepper are comfortable around me. This mix of reliance on me and instinctual fear of me has her caught in an emotional middle ground. She's resisting her situation, but unable to escape it, at least for now. She'll likely just leave us as soon as she's healed up enough. Yeah, this thing is not... Sorry. Twitch is failing to notify me that there's an ad break coming up. There's always an ad break coming up in the first 5 minutes, so I expect it's... there we go, refreshing it and brought it back. So yeah, in 20 seconds. I'll pause the game when the ads come on so you don't miss anything. Anyway, moving on. Claudia sniffs at a flowering bush and smiles as the sun warms her face. She joyfully hums her made-up tune, occasionally also remarking about something that catches her eye. Right now it's the shiny green bug climbing on her flowers, and that all the plants are pretty dry and could use a drink. Her made-up too, but it is alluded to a few times. I have a feeling it's not made up. I mean, is it going to be a reveal about where the song came from? Anyway. I notice that her nails are starting to get long. Filing at Neko's fingernails is not a fun task. They look like human nails, but are actually thicker and sharper. Claudia is usually good about self-grooming. I'm sure she'll get to it eventually. We all enjoy the beautiful afternoon for a while as the burgers sizzle. Claudia smiles and calls my attention to a small, colorful butterfly floating haphazardly on the breeze. I realized that at some point Pepper went back inside and returned carrying a hammer. Yeah, what could go wrong with that? And as a start, I'll be right back. And I'm back again. What is going on with my webcam? Are you seeing that? This isn't just on my end, right? Oh, that's weird. I've never seen the webcam do that before. It's it's just juddering and flickering. And Maddie's here. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Can I just... These are doing a webcam interface screw, so it seems, I guess. That is very strange. What is going on with the camera? Sorry, bear with me. I'm still here. I'm just tinkering with this thing. Maybe if I just bear with me. Hold on a second. First thing I want to do is just make sure it's like plugged in securely. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. Maybe I should put that "Be Right Back" sign back on. I'm still here. I just jostled the cord and now it's gone off completely. I had the thing covered while I was messing around with it and reboot. I'd rather not have to do that. I already started the stream. This thing, like Twitch likes to throw an ad break within 5 minutes of the start, so if I restart the stream, there's going to be another ad break and it's going to just be a big nuisance. Did I pull up the... Ah. I mixed up the chords, okay. Well, this is awkward. Yeah, the cord that I thought was the webcam was actually the mouse. Which one is the webcam then? And now the monitor just turned off. That's fantastic. What? Oh, maybe I should reboot. What is this thing hot on? Oh wow, this is just really not cooperating with me today. Sorry folks, technical difficulties. Assuming you can still hear me. I'll wait here, sure. Okay, and if I just... Okay, so I don't know, the webcam's just completely dead now. This is very sudden. Okay, this is getting troublesome and annoying. Let me just try something else here. Maybe I shouldn't be doing my troubleshooting. Maybe I should just do without the webcam for. Yeah, the webcam still works. It definitely works. I just brought up the webcam in a different app, and it sees me perfectly fine. But for whatever reason, OBS is having trouble picking it up. Okay, what if? Let me try one more thing here. Video capture device. Fantastic. Get down there. Get into the corner there. Great. What size is the other one? Something like that. Why is it different? It's a different resolution. Why is it a different resolution? It's just it's a wider aspect ratio. Our cycle, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Yeah. Would a restart help? I mean, maybe. My comp has a pending update window seems to have problems till you reboot. That's odd. Yeah, I don't know. The webcam, it started bugging out and then it cut out entirely. But the webcam is still working. It's just this little black square here, which is supposed to be showing the webcam, it just decided to fail all of a sudden. Like this particular instance, I don't know why it's causing issue. And now this thing. Okay, can I adjust properties? No, none of those things are what I'm looking for. Configure video? I don't know. Okay. Okay, just make that one invisible and then just put this in the corner and yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. I'll have to figure it out later. I messed around too long with this. Is that tied to OBS? I mean, yeah, like, I mean, whatever issue is occurring appears to be something going wrong with OBS. The webcam appears to be fine. It's having no trouble seeing the webcam image when I open up another instance of it. I don't know why the first instance just failed out of nowhere. I don't know. Nothing makes sense. Anyway, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick because messing around with the cables, it's all dusty. I'll be right back. Yeah, I do have a slight allergy to dust, and if I leave it on my hands without washing them, I just know there's gonna be a rash creeping in over time. Anyway, thanks for bearing with me while I messed around with that. I don't know what the issue is. It makes no sense at all. Maybe restart OBS again. Like, I'd rather not do that because if I restart OBS, I have to restart the whole stream, and then Twitch is going to go, "Oh, you're starting a new stream? We're going to throw another ad in the first 5 minutes." Anyway, yeah. So where did I leave off? Yeah, Pepper came back in with a hammer. Okay, so guess whose game is getting put on? JAST? J-A-S-T? I don't even know what that is. Is that an acronym I'm not familiar with? But I'm from context, I'm going to assume you're saying OmOneko is being put on JAST, whatever that means. In which case, I don't know, congratulations or condolences, depending on what it is. Is it a good thing, bad thing? I'm not even sure. What even is that? Maybe I should look it up before I embarrass myself further. Big VN website? Cool. Anyway. Yeah, we have art for a hammer all of a sudden here. Let's see where this goes. I own a hammer? Almost a toolbox when she moved. It's in the closet in Pepper's room, but I've never had the need to go into it. Seeing Pepper with the hammer is a bit unnerving, as I'm reminded of the adage, when all you have is a hammer, you treat everything like a nail. Seems Pepper, hammer cocked casually at her shoulder, has found a hole in the yard, likely that of some small rodent. Hovering over it, she twists her head, listening to determine if anyone's at home there. She looks like she's getting ready to play the world's laziest game of whack-a-mole. Easiest setting, only one hole. Come to think about it, a rodent hole in the yard is actually an odd thing. The overcrowding of rat colonies has devastated the populations of mice, moles, chipmunks, frogs, squirrels. I can't remember the last time I saw a raccoon. Most metal street poles now have birdhouses hanging from them and shelves on top for bigger birds to nest on, as a way to keep the rats from getting to the eggs. More world building. About what this rat infestation has done to the society here. Anyway. Sudden scolding by a passing raven grabs everyone's attention. Ooh. Get him, Pepper. ... exclamation point. All eyes track the black bird till it disappears. Veronica. Veronica? Oh yeah. Oh hey. Is this the neighbor that we've heard passing references to, who is aware of Claudia and all that? Is she aware about Pepper and Shimi? This is her first time. This is her first appearance in this story. Aside from this image, her image appeared very briefly during the opening credits, right at the beginning, right at the top of the game. Anyway, moving right along. Hello, Claudia. Hi. Whoa, you have 2 Nekos now? Wow, like most people don't even have one. Veronica's my neighbor. Her appearance at the fence, quickly noticed by Claudia, was missed by the rest of us. Pepper regards Veronica, then turns her attention back to the hole in the ground. Veronica said 2 Nekos? A quick glance back towards the house finds that Shimi has, of course, vanished at the approach of another human. I'm not going to correct Veronica on the number of Nekos which live here. Yeah, you met my friend Goro? Veronica's perturbed expression tells me that she remembers Goro. Your friend from that evening, he, broke the fence. Yeah, sorry about that. Just another time when his antics got out of control. Well, he fixed it, but, like, replaced the broken part with this gate. Again, sorry, I'd be happy to pay your dad to come and fix it back to a fence. No, really, it's fine. Like, he actually, did a nice job. I like the gate, it's pretty. He said he put the gate in as a joke, but, I didn't get the joke. Yeah, I'm not getting it either. Or is Goro trying to subtly set Protag up with Veronica here? I actually don't remember Goro's reason for putting a gate where he broke the fence or his joke. I'm just lucky that Veronica is so laid back about it, especially since she's prone to get worked up easily over trivial things. He thought it was funny. So, like, that's his Neko? Yes, that's Pepper. Goro joined the army, and now Claudia and I have Pepper. I leave out additional details of how I came to have the brat cat, but notice that one of Pepper's ears is turned in our direction now. Oh, wow, that's so sweet of you to do that. It must be cool to have them. Veronica says while scratching Claudia where her ear meets her head. Surprised by Veronica's reaction. She's an artist, but she's an artist. Maybe she's more open-minded about her neighbor having a bunch of Nekos. So I was thrown by the comma where there's. Seems like that's a full sentence. This should have been a period. Oh well. Well, she mostly works as an interior painter for her dad's construction and remodeling business. Her real job, while trying to be a real full-time artist. Still, that she's so cool about my situation makes me wonder. Hey, Veronica. Do you want a Neko? It's implying that he's thinking of giving up Pepper. How is Pepper going to take that? She's already been abandoned once. And she's just settling into a new home here. Unless he's thinking of, dumping Shimi on her, but he has the expectation that Shimi is going to going to be going back out into the wild again, so what's his angle here? Anyway, Pepper drops her hammer. She turns to me with a look that could stop a clock. Claudia shoots me a very disapproving glance and purses her lips. Oh. Negative reactions from the cats and Veronica's near panic caused me to raise both hands in quick surrender. Kidding, I'm kidding, haha, just a joke. Although, no, they're my responsibility. Now I have one option: invite Veronica to eat with us. And again, every time there's an option here, when there's only one option, it kind of makes me wonder if previous choices I made may have influenced the number of options I have. Like maybe if I made other choices, there would be additional choices here, which would be pretty neat if so. Anyway, moving on. Wait, Veronica, be with this. Veronica, we're about to have dinner. Nothing fancy, just burgers, grilled vegetables, and potato chips. Would you like to join us? Oh, yeah, Veronica. Burgers, Veronica. Burgers and cheese. And pickles. For you. Oh, wow. I mean, thanks so much, but, I can't. You know, plans. Veronica's a quiet neighbor, a little awkward, somewhat bohemian, and a bit disorganized. Other than that, I don't know a lot about her. But I do know that she has an on-again, off-again boyfriend, Lind, the clerk at the store I shop at. He's kind of an idiot. Yeah, I remember Lind. the nose hair plucker from the previous scene, who didn't have a sprite. Anyway, her response tells me they are currently on again. I want to tell her that she's much too sweet for him and that he's a twit, ought to treat her better, but I guess it's not my business. I decide to save her and cut off the conversation. No problem. We'd love to have you any time, though. Right, Claudia? Yeah, every time. Oh, wow, you guys are so nice. Ron gives a tender, slightly distant smile. I better go get ready. Bye, Pepper. It was nice meeting you. I'll see you soon, Claudia. You're so sweet. Claudia hugs Veronica over the gate, instantly brightening her spirits. Bye, Veronica. Pepper doesn't budge from her hunt, but her tail gives a relaxed yet elaborate back-and-forth swish that could almost be interpreted as a wave. Okay, come on, girls. Burger time. She cut off their tail. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. You ever see such a sight in your life? It's a excerpt from Three Blind Mice there. Shimi. I guess that's the name of the chapter or something. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more. That's from The Raven, right? Edgar Allan Poe. There's a storm out there. It's a big one. Water drums in the roof and glass in its persistent and futile assault, but the rain didn't come by itself. On cue, the storm punctuates these idle thoughts with a resounding clap of thunder. I grip my phone tightly. Thunderstorms make me tense. Damn it. Throughout the house, loose items and cabinets rattle. A hint of ozone and almost imperceptible flickering of the living room lights emphasizes the smallness of the house amidst the greatness of the storm beyond these thin walls. Oh, Raven, yes. Yeah, there you go. Woo, literature nerd. Anyway. But how do you pronounce that? Barrow. Pepper's in her room rattling as well, shouting and cackling each time a thunderbolt echoes past us. Snow. The thunder erupts and Pepper replies, her volume and level of excitement seeming to match the intensity of the bellowing heavens. She's not normal, she really isn't, but at least she's enjoying herself. Claudia's in her room. Storms don't bother her much, she'll just sleep through them. It's what she's done since we were little. That just leaves Shimi. Wildcat, Claudia called her, and she is. But she's also very different from what I ever would have expected a wildcat to be. Though to be fair, she's been sedated almost this whole time, so who knows what she's really like. I wonder what other things I've been wrong about. I wonder what other things I've been wrong about. What a quote. I mean, dun foreshadowing. Anyway, or dramatic irony, depending what. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, what's it been now? 2 weeks since I started caring for her? Longer? 3 weeks since Pepper joined us? A month? I'm not really sure. Without Mia and Gora around, the days have started blending together. Yeah, he really doesn't have much of a routine or whatever. Like I get the impression he's still like unemployed and stuff. Anyway, plus the storm gives a surreal atmosphere to the house, breaking the normal flow of time. My thoughts linger on Shimi. It seems that the storm is having some effect on her. She didn't come out for food all day. She hasn't eaten, which means she also hasn't had any medicine. Skipping meals is not uncommon for her still. My curiosity spills over like the rainwater filling the bird bath in the garden. I find myself approaching Shimi's closet. It's silly, but I want to know how she's doing, how she's dealing with the storm. Is she sleeping through it, like Claudia? Is she excited by it, like Pepper? Something else entirely? I mean, if she isn't eating and isn't coming out, probably more likely the former, but eh. A few knocks to announce my presence, then I ease open the door. A single blue eye meets me in a flat greeting. Shimi's hunkered down, stoic, neither sleeping through the storm nor excited by it. She outwardly ignores it. Indifference, another tactic to make it go away. There's an edge of suspicion in the poker-faced way she regards me, like she's waiting to see if I plan on invading deeper into her place of solitude or if I'm content to stay at its fringe. I'm about to ask if she's okay or if she needs something before I remember that she doesn't speak and I'm a moron, though there was that one time. Another thunderclap rattles all the windows in the house. Pepper squeals with rage and delight in the next room. A furious and terrific jolt of sound forces Shimi to break eye contact with me. Otherwise, outwardly, her demeanor is unfazed. She gazes past me, looking off into the unknown, her one eye searching a far-off place for the meaning behind the mysterious and unleashed force of nature, or maybe on watch for an appearance of the angry gods who are causing such a ruckus in the sky above. Regardless, the gods don't come, they never do. Instead, they send the rain. Raindrops endlessly dive-bomb the roof, exploding against it, and reform as trickling streams that continue their race to the ground. Look at those eyes. I mean, yeah? She seems more awake and alert than before, I guess. Is that what you're referring to, or just... Anyway, moving on. We are witness to all of it. Well, Wildcat, mind if I join you? I sit on the hard hallway floor, my back against the opposite wall. Now eye level with Shimi, she regards me again. Her manner is stone cold, dispassionate, indifferent. Resigned. Yeah, that's... An interesting choice of words. I mean, like the resigned. I mean, the resigned aspect probably refers to a lot of her manner. What's going on with her? Like she's just resigned to her fate. Like maybe she doesn't really want to be here, but there's nothing else she can do. Anyway, just waiting out the storm. Makes sense. Even though you're in my home, you're still feral. Were she hunkered down out there, soaking wet, I'm positive she'd have the same distant, mildly perturbed expression, the same emotionally paused way about her, same indifference. Ignore this thing that's uncontrollable and everywhere, and it will eventually go away. You can take the feral out of the wild, but you can't take the wild out of a feral, or something like that. Shimi tolerates my presence, watch my mouth make sounds. I'm grateful for the closeness, so I make more. I'm not a fan of storms like this either. I don't mind the rain. I mean, it's important for the plants and to clean the dust and pollen off of everything, but then again, I have the luxury of being in here at home when it's raining. Small part of my brain, likely the same part that keeps asking me, why the hell do you have a feral Neko in your house, points out that if I were having this conversation with a human, I would rightly be embarrassed at how dull it is. Of course, it's different for you, Shimi. But Shimi just watches my mouth make sound, so it doesn't matter. Living out there, no home, cold rain can make you sick. She seems to find my speaking to be interesting. I find her interest to be interesting. So at least you're warm and dry. I think I've gotten so used to just speaking while tending to her wounds that my brain has started using the thinking out loud as a way to release stress. So I'm only partly talking to Shimi, and I'm also talking to myself, you know, like crazy people do. Maybe I am going a little crazy. After all, I am the guy with three Nekos, one of which is a feral, here in my home. Home. The abrupt end to my speaking makes the beating brain sound suddenly quite loud. Did I just imagine? Shimi and I just stare silently at each other. Her gaze at me with that same flat affect, me waiting for... I'm not sure what. The rain falls. It's at this moment that I actually start to question my mental state. The little voice in my head breaks the trance. Did I just hallucinate Shimi speaking? I break eye contact before it becomes uncomfortable. Auditory verbal hallucination is known to be caused by stress, sleep deprivation, or drugs, or they can be a sign of schizophrenia. Kuro told me about this once, and now I wish he hadn't. I might actually be losing it. Yeah. Fun fact, it is actually possible to become schizophrenic in adulthood, even if you had no prior symptoms. Which I have to imagine is a very disconcerting thing to experience, to suddenly have hallucinations when you never had them before. Yeah, anyway. I'm living with 3 Nekos. They've totally upended my happy, boring existence. Could they literally be driving me crazy? Just as the implications of what this could mean fully hit me, it happens again. Home. Yeah. I mean, she did speak to you before, dude. Like, there is the possibility that she just did the same thing again that she previously did before, that you know she did. Why jump to conclusions about schizophrenia or whatever? Oh well, anyway, moving on. I did not imagine that. The relief at not being insane is pushed aside by my amazement. Shimi just talked, again, or mimicked, less speaking and more parroting. Despite my cynicism, I find myself excited. Shimi is looking at me with a very human expression, curious as to how I'll respond. Home. That's right, Shimi. I touch the floor, the wall, and gesture around us. Home. This place where I live. Where we live. It's called home. Shimi looks at me, then looks around at the floor, at the wall, and again at me. Home. Yes, home. I grin and laugh. Her gaze is still that of a wild animal, absent of any meaning behind the word, I think. I think? Question mark? Still, of all the words that I've spoken, the one she picks to say, home, I want to mean more than it probably does. I can't remember when Claudia started speaking, or even understanding what Mom would say to her, but I don't think she ever parroted our speech. Yeah. At this point, I'm reminded of, like, from what I've read of, you know, raising human children, they can understand long before they're able to speak. Like, they can understand what people are saying before they are able to speak it, before they, like, start experimenting with using their voice or whatever. Like, one of my like fondest, most fascinating memories as I had I was visiting a friend who had a kid who was like a year old. He's, he's a toddler. Uh, yeah, he was unable to speak, except like the only word he could say was "uh-oh." Like he would say that if he dropped something. And I have a vivid memory of uh, uh, um, like my friend getting a bowl of ice cream for him with a little tiny tub of ice cream, and she instructed him to put the ice cream back in the freezer, and he took it, in both hands. He's tiny, so it was like this, the little thing was like this big to him, and he toddles over to the freezer, and with holding it under one arm, trying to pull the freezer open, but he couldn't because he didn't have enough leverage. And she told him, put the ice cream down, and then you can use both hands to open it. And he did it. He followed her instruction, and I just found that fascinating, because he's a baby. He's like a year old. He's still in diapers, and he doesn't look like someone who should be able to understand that relatively complex instruction. But he could, and sort of makes me conscious of when you're around little kids, 1 or 2 years old, um, they can still understand you. you know it's probably important to watch what you say around them. um, but yeah, so the my point with that whole long rambling anecdote though is that protag, like even if you even with your baseless assumption that she must not be able to speak, your assumption that she can't speak that is so complete that even though you've heard her speak before, you assumed that you didn't hear her speak. Um, she might still be able to understand what you're saying, dude. um, but I don't know. Anyway, moving right along. I don't think she ever parroted our speech. I think she started with please, no, and thanks. That sounds right. Mom was big on raising Claudia to be proper and polite a lady, as she'd often say. Jimmy watches me watch her. It's a lovely moment we're sharing. Quiet company together as the storm and occasionally Pepper rage around us. I'm happy that she's letting me be this close to her, and I'm still physically far enough away that moments of holding eye contact aren't making her uncomfortable. She's a lot less jumpy than she's been. Shimi, this is actually our first encounter that didn't involve food or wound care since you came into my home. No? Really? Even including the, what about the comic book reading? Surely. Anyway, an even greater accomplishment since her only sedation currently is the storm. Sedation. I wonder if you're in much pain right now. Should I try to feed you to get some medicine in you? Jimmy shifts her focus from me back into the nothing. It makes me expect another thunderous jolt that will shake and rattle the house. I'm not completely wrong. Hey! Hurricane Pepper appears, making an unpleasant face, a signal that she's unimpressed with me sitting on the floor. Then turns her attention to the closet and Shimi. Sashimi, speak? That's right. She called her sashimi instead of shimi. Pepper heard her. I beam a huge grin at the validation and chance to share that it really happened with someone, even if it's just the brat cat. She said the word home. My voice carries a note of smugness, like I somehow had something to do with it. Pepper regards Shimi. Shimi does not look at Pepper, but her ears are clearly locked on her. Sashimi, say, eat? No, just Shimi and home so far. Pepper nods and her eyes drift back to me. Pepper, say, eat. I feel my face crunch at her reply. I know you can say the words eat. You say lots of words. Pepper sighs and looks at me like I've disappointed her. She slowly shakes her head in a simple-minded human sitting on the floor. I think Pepper's saying she's hungry. Hey, wait, are you trying to tell me that you're hungry? That you want to eat? Her slow clap and sarcastic smile congratulate me on figuring out the obvious. She is Goro's Neko, alright. You're a real treat, you know that? I turn my grimace to Shimi for support. See what I have to put up with in my own home? Shimi is still focused on the storm outside and shows no interest in Pepper's teasing or my suffering. My butt has fallen asleep and the pins and needles slow the progress of picking myself up off the floor. Just as well, since I'm still careful about not making any sudden movements around Shimi. Something she has to appreciate whether she is aware of it or not. Which is why I'm taken aback as Shimi momentarily looks up at me with an intense flash of worry? Not sure what exactly. It's quick, like the earlier flickering of the lights, and she instantly returns to the detached manner she displayed when I first opened the closet door. Could it have been fear? Of what? Being left alone? No, she's feral. They're always alone. Again with the assumptions. Maybe there's more to this moment than I'm realizing, and now I'm torn. I want to... Hey! Thunder here too. Let's go. Pepper points to her belly, telling me that her stomach is rumbling. It's past lunchtime, so I'm sure everyone is hungry. If Pepper doesn't get to eat, she'll just be obnoxious until she does, which would likely make Shimi agitated, and keeping Shimi calm is still the priority. Shimi, I'm going to go make food. Come join us if you're hungry. Pepper follows me to the kitchen. Shimi doesn't. I pull out noodles and other ingredients. Pepper, want noodles. Okay. I'm already making noodles, but just for you, I'll make noodles. Pepper grins as she watches the rain battering the backyard. Then heads into the sunroom with the big windows. That's Claudia's room then. Pepper, stop. I don't want you waking up Claudia. Claudia's awake. Oh, hey, sorry we woke you. I'm making noodles. Care to join us? She does. The noodles cook up quickly, and Claudia starts pulling out bowls and utensils to get the table ready. Pepper busies herself by splitting her focus between watching us, keeping a suspicious eye on the storm, and sucking on her teeth. Stop that. So annoying. As they portion lunch in bowls, Claudia turns. Shimi. We find ourselves staring at Shimi. The closet cat came out. Before I can greet or acknowledge her, the kitchen becomes alive with bright flashes. The chasing boom shakes the house and everyone in it. Claudia, standing next to me, reflexively grabs my arm. Pepper shakes her fist at the ceiling. Tonra. Okay. What are these weird noises that Pepper's making? And barks back at the storm in a long and loud shout, which only startles everyone further. Shimi is gone, back to the shadows, or possibly back down the hallway. Oh my god, stop that. Seriously, Pepper, one Thunder God is more than enough. The evil slice of me imagines sending her outside to get the storm, Pepper. But this better slice of me notes she might take me up on it, and then I'd have to deal with a soaking wet Pepper. Shimi reappears. I divide lunch into 4 bowls and reach for the bottles of antihistamines and the Neko-friendly pain reliever. Then pause. Should I sedate her? She's been improving. I want to wean her off the antihistamines. Because I think she's ready, or because I selfishly want to see more of what she's like without it? Play with fire, you get burned. I realize I've been standing here stuck in the pose of reaching for the medicine bottles. Everyone is watching me. It's embarrassing for some reason. Noodles. Yes, noodles. I got distracted. I move, pulling out Shimi's meds, crushing them up and adding them to her food. It's the easiest way out of the situation and the right thing to do. The storm has everyone on edge, and Shimi's injuries will benefit from rest. As soon as she sits, Pepper sneaks a bite from her bowl, earning a dirty look from me. You know we wait till everyone is ready before we eat. Pepper responds with stealth, only chewing when I'm not looking directly at her, and then looking at the ceiling when I am. I shake my head at Pepper, place Jamie's food on the table, and sit. Shimi's the only one standing. The rest of us watch, waiting to see if she'll join us. Pepper chews. Finally, she steps to the table. She is placid on the surface, like calm still waters at night, but there are hints of deep dark mystery in the murky depths beneath. Possibly nothing, but more likely a lot of strange things are going on in there. She hesitates, looking at each of us. She looks at me last and the longest. Then takes her bowl and limps back down the hallway. Crap, I forgot and gave her the entire bowl of food. That's too bad. At least she took a spork with her. What's this? How have you not gotten yourself killed already? Sometimes I listen to the advice that I'm given, most times even. Is this him continuing to read his story while everyone's eating? I guess. Anyway. Lunch is done. I've been sitting here looking at my phone for not sure how long, a while. Turns out I wasn't that hungry. Pepper finished first and went straight to her room. The thunder and lightning have moved on, and the rain alone is not enough to hold her attention. No. Excuse me. Now the sounds of catculations reveal that she's found something else to keep her occupied. Claudia finished and went to the kitchen. Was he? Thank you. Finished and went to the kitchen. Then the humming and clatter of dishes being cleaned reveal her activity there. That just leaves me with the last few bites of my lunch, sitting alone, listening to one Neko counting to herself, another humming to herself, and me thinking about a third Neko hunkered down in my hall closet. Everything seems 1,000 miles away. It's the rain. The heavy grayscale of the storm and tippling rainfall blanket everything with a primeval vibe. Almost like being underground, it lays over the house feeling cave-like and close, oppressive. Maybe that's why, even though I'm full from lunch, I still feel empty. I want to finish just so I can get up and turn on some more lights or the TV, anything to chase the uneasy shadows from the room and from my head. Just as I force myself to swallow the last bite, my concentration is broken by, I don't know, something demanding my attention. Did I leave the stove on? Shimi. Her unexpected reappearance locks me in place. She's re-emerged from her closet. It's amazing that she's still able to just appear like that, even totally loopy from the meds. And then she starts rattling off full sentences, right? No, I'm kidding. Shimi's eye has a vacant glaze to it. Her hands cradle an empty bowl against her belly. She sways, then forces herself forward like a drunken sleepwalker. She clumsily maneuvers to her chair. Then sits suddenly, gracelessly, her eyes tight shut, wincing through the tranquilizing effects of the antihistamines as the bowl clatters against the table. The rattle of the bowl is conspicuous against the heavy mood of the storm, drawing Claudia out of the kitchen. Her curious gaze reflects my thoughts. Shimi is here. That's surprising. Normally she eats and heads off to the closet to pass out for hours. As the last of the surprise leaves me, I wonder, is she here due to habit? Eating coupled with wound care? Is one of her injuries bothering her? Or is this maybe a continuation of her earlier moment, just being together at home? That last one is likely wishful thinking, but a nice thought anyway. Shimi adjusts herself and noticeably relaxes. Her puckered expression vanishes as her tail falls free, no longer sandwiched between her and the chair. Yeah, isn't her tail broken? Anyway. Carefully, Claudia takes both of our bowls. She pauses a moment to take in the scene, then disappears back into the kitchen. Hello again, Shimi. This is an unexpected surprise. I speak quietly at Shimi, slowly reaching over to undo the bandage on her arm. Well, let's take a look. Her body sways slightly with each slow breath she takes. She seems pliable, more sedated, much deeper in the fog than usual. Not sure if she's awake or asleep at this point, but as I unwrap her arm, her head lifts slightly in my direction. Her ears make tiny adjustments towards the sound of my voice. Then she seems to zone out again. Your arm is healing well. It's much less of an angry red and the bandage is mostly clean. Nice job staying calm and not injuring yourself. Good girl. Is she? Is she a good girl? My mind latches onto this thought. The topic is no worse than any other that I drone on about, so... Claudia is a good girl, pleasant and very helpful. Pepper is... Shimi's ears twitch. And as if conjured by speaking her name, Pepper appears, skipping down the hallway. Well, Pepper is difficult. I smirk at Pepper as I quietly share this very obvious insight with Shimi. Pepper looks offended. Then she sticks out her tongue and makes a face at me. Difficult, schmificult, Pepper, terrificult. And continues into the kitchen. I hear the troublemaker grab a cup from the cabinet and get a drink from the fridge. Terrific little messmaker. I'm sure she'll leave her cup on the counter for Claudia to take care of. She'll probably leave the refrigerator door open again, too. Fortunately, I hear her close. Pepper then skips back down the hallway. Oddly, she pauses to glance at me and Shimi. She turns and vanishes into her room, where she resumes her calculations. Goro's medical bag is still in the cabinet in the kitchen. I should have asked Pepper to grab it. I returned the old bandage to Shimi's arm. I can't examine her tail without getting up and going around her. Even stoned on antihistamines, she probably wouldn't do well at being crowded like that. Instead, I allow my hands to linger on her arm, stalling. It seems I'm not ready to break contact. Shimi feels athletic, strong, and toned. Warm. Soft thunder rumbles from a long way off. A footnote from the retreating vocal chorus of the storm. A footnote from the retreating vocal chorus of the storm? Question mark? We both ignore it, as if it were in another world entirely. That curious choice of having the word warm in isolation. Athletic, strong, toned, warm. Is this sort of hinting in the direction of Protag feeling lustful thoughts toward her, or are we talking about warmth in the sense of feeling, I don't know, him feeling more empathetic toward her, although from context it sounds like more like the former. Anyway, moving on. Soft thunder rumbles from a long way off. A footnote from the retreating book. Oh, we all read that. Both ignore this of the world entirely. Shimi appears completely out of it. Even her ears have settled into panoramic positions, unfocused, set to receive sound from all around her. Is this how she looks, asleep in the closet? I'm happy you came out. Her presence has chased away the gloom of the storm, replacing it with the thrill of being close to a feral, the delight of being close to Shimi. The surreality of it all still remains. Yeah, see, now he's using the word delight. I considered giving her an ear rub once before, but thought better of it at the time. Now I again have an urge to touch her ear. After all, it's something Claudia really likes. I'm sure Shimi would too. I mean, again, like, I said it during the last session, like, you're talking about, a feral cat, neko, a feral being who is also, passed out from drugs and can't consent to this borderline intimate, if not intimate, contact. So, like, maybe don't. But whatever. Okay. Sure, Shimi would too. When did I become so impulsive? Likely about the same time a wildcat took up residence in my closet. It's crazy. Me, caring for a feral, I still don't believe it. Yet, here we are, at least for another moment. Wound care is over. I've stopped talking. Very soon she'll leave again. She'll slip back into the closet with her slight limp, isolating herself from their nest of blankets and pillows. It's where she needs to be, so she can rest and heal. I just want another moment with her before she leaves, so I reach up to pet her ear. Blinding flash, the blink of an eye, instantaneous. I know what those words mean now. What could go wrong? Yeah, right? I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you that I didn't say already. I mean, she's not consenting to that contact. Anyway, moving on. There was no indication or movement whatsoever that hinted it was about to happen. My fingertips brush her ear, her hand clamps around my wrist. One moment her hand is relaxed on the table, the next it holds me fast like a rat in a trap, stealing away my breath. Oh, we got an ad break coming up in 5 minutes, FYI. Her grip is solid despite her injuries. Her hand radiates fire against the cold fear enveloping my flesh. A tear of blood crawls down from the place where the edge of a fingernail tore my skin. It drips from the stinging wrist, leaving a small ragged circle on the table where it lands, quickly followed by another, and another. If she chose to, she could make my blood run in a torrent, but Shimi still appears to be asleep. I want to cry out for help to Claudia or Pepper or to Shimi to apologize to her, but I completely submit, unable to move or speak. Time has paused, and I'm frozen along with it. In the rainfall, a drum roll fills my head, a breathing pulse as if the rain were landing hard against the inside of my skull, blaring like the static of a radio that's lost all signal, washing away all other sound. The surreality overwhelms. Only Shimi and the rain transcend this frozen moment, and Shimi slowly begins to stir. Her ears lethargically turn from their outward angles toward me, unhurried, zeroing in on my position. Shimi's eyes crack open, her gaze, glazed and dead ahead, slowly focuses on her surroundings, then pointedly arcs in my direction, finally locking on me. She blinks several times, studying me. I avert my eyes to the table, still able to see her in my peripheral vision. She examines her hand, which has my wrist held fast and my fingers growing numb. A confusion grows in her stare. It's as if she doesn't recognize what she's looking at. Her movements are mechanical. Shimi? Nothing. I mean, you could try asking her to let go of your hand maybe? I don't know. Then the hard, razor blade feral personality, the vacant robotic one with the death grip on me, retreats. A more wounded Shimi, the skittish one I'm used to, surfaces. Her grip relaxes, but doesn't release. I have no idea what to do, so I do nothing. We stay like that as she tries to make sense of what she's seeing. 2.5 minutes till ad break. I'll pause the game when it comes up, so you don't miss anything. Anyway. Shimi? Shimi blinks rapidly, transfixed on the place where her nail clipped my skin and caused blood to trickle out. Still holding on to me, she trembles. She seems smaller now. Okay, I really don't think she intentionally meant to hurt me or break the skin when she grabbed me. I decided it's safe to breathe again. Holy shit, Shimi, you almost gave me a heart attack. Shimi seems to pay no attention to my whispered words. She fixates on her hand, still holding my wrist, and a small cut that has already stopped bleeding. Claudia comes in from the kitchen. She observes Shimi for a moment, then looks questioningly to me. I give a slow shake of my head and force a smile. It's okay. It's all right. Claudia hesitates, loitering at the foyer threshold. I'm glad she can't see the blood from where she's standing. Can't help. Serious now. I know. Don't worry. Slowly, Claudia fades back into the kitchen, and immediately the universe seems to contract back down to just me and Shimi. I wonder if we would have had this interaction if we'd tried to scratch her ear or, give her an ear rub in the previous scene. I don't know. Anyway, 1 minute to ad break. Shimi's hand remains loosely holding my wrist. I wait for her to release me and for her to fall back to the sanctuary of her closet. Instead, she does something more unexpected and just as sudden, still trembling. Shimi leans her head forward until my hand is against her ear. She's giving me permission to touch her. After a pause, I do. Again, is this her giving permission, or is this just her resigning to something she doesn't think she has any control over? I don't know. 20 seconds to ad break. Shimi's grip on my wrist eases completely. I begin a slow, rhythmic massage of her ear. On the table, her hand finds my other hand. Her fingers keep a delicate contact on mine. Her eye returns to peering into nothing as she leans the side of her head against my hand, not pressing like Claudia would, more meeting me halfway. Oh, ad break is imminent. I touch her, I rub, not sure who's trembling more at this moment. Several minutes pass, and we both settle into a state of normalcy. Well, normal for an impulsive human with a cut wrist giving an injured and heavily sedated feral an ear massage. My exuberance from earlier is gone, but strangely, all my fascination remains. Why am I so enthralled with you? Why am I giving infection to this creature that has no idea what to do with it? Oh, and why continue to play with fire after very nearly being burned alive? I think I'm going to get jump started on the ad break, which is imminent, so I'll be right back. And I'm back again. Seems to be permission, but I am not 100% sure on that. Could be wrong. Sure? It does seem unclear. It's it's not clear whether or not she's fully aware or cognizant of what's going on. I mean, her dazed reaction to seeing her hand gripping his wrist seems to suggest that she's kind of like half asleep and out of it, and was maybe not fully aware of what she's doing or what's happening. So I don't know. Like it sort of feels like if like she might be too impaired to give consent regardless. There's part of why I'm like, no, don't give her an ear rub, jerk. Just because Claudia would enjoy it doesn't mean that she will. I mean, she's a completely different person, completely different circumstances. Like, context is important. Yeah, she's drugged up too. Good point. Yeah. But anyway, moving right along. Why am I giving affection to this creature that has no idea what to do with it? Why continue to play with fire after very nearly being burned alive? I don't know, but I have no intention of stopping. Like a man possessed, my actions make no sense to me. I find myself slowly but deeply massaging her ear and the nearby area of her head. I mean, he did use the word impulsive earlier. Yep, cat is different, yeah. Yeah. or every cat is different. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, plus, like, in the context of Claudia is someone that he grew up with. They're close, you know, so that there's more room for some kind of affection there. You don't go up to someone you don't know and give them an ear massage, okay? You know, it's just you don't do that. I mean, if you like if you know if you want to think about them as a cat rather than a person, like even if you were talking about going up to a feral cat out in the street, you still wouldn't go up and pet them, or at least if you were going to consider doing that, be very careful about it and be sure that they're open to it and they're not going to scratch you, you know? Like, approach slowly, like put your hand out, see if they're willing to come to you, you know? No, you don't just go up and start petting them. Most don't want to be pet, exactly. Like, I mean, again, context is always important. Like, they're yeah. I mean, like if we're talking about feral animals, like out in the street, like that's not a context where they're expecting to be pet. They like petting a cat or whatever is something you're gonna do more like it in the comfort and safety of your own home, where they feel safe and enough to relax and let their guard down and so on. And Shimi being in an unfamiliar location is not going to be in a state where she's likely to be open to that. You know, the initiated is fine most of the time. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Shimi's hand drifts off of the table, landing easily on her lap. Protectively, her good hand comes to rest over her injured one. Her trembling subsides. Simultaneously seeming to want more and less of it, her head begins to move with the rhythmic action of my fingers. She clumsily allows it to deepen further, closing her eyes and accepting an experience as alien to her as she is to me. Heat, the warmth of her ear, seems to reach back towards me, embracing my hand and giving its own massage to me, a softer one, yet just as intense. Had a cat like that that doesn't like to be pet normally? Yeah. I've had experience with cats who they'll tolerate being pet up to a point, and then they just decide they've had enough of it. They'll just scratch you, and so you have to really be on your guard if you're gonna pet them. Anyway, moving on. Her good hand comes up, gripping the edge of the table, steadying and supporting herself as my hand explores, finding and pulling pleasure from deep within her ear and head, discovering and unearthing the hidden affection buried there. Let's see, starting here. You know, there's this thing called unreliable narrator. Our protagonist, who's been narrating this story so far, has been making a ton of assumptions since day one of this game about you know, what the various Nekos are thinking at any given moment, and discovering and unearthing the hidden affection buried there. Like this sort of feels like it feels a lot like he's reading things into this interaction that might not actually be there. Yep, he has so far. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'm grinning now. Despite all the fear I felt just a moment ago, I'm really enjoying this. You know what, Shimi? I don't think the good girl thing can apply to you. You're something else entirely, aren't you? Shimi doesn't respond. Her good hand remains gripping the table as her injured hand begins to squeeze and release her own thigh, matching the cadence of her breathing. Squeezing and releasing. With a breathy sigh, Shimi shudders. She reaches up again and grips my wrist, but this time very gently. I bring the rubbing to an end. She pulls my hand away and looks at it for a very long time, as if doing so will allow her to understand more of this whole ear rub thing, but exhaustion has overwhelmed her. As always happens, she slowly rises, like the world's least threatening zombie. Shimi makes her way down the hallway, her tail drags behind. I want to go with her. I think a part of me does. It's an odd phrasing there. I want to go with her. I think a part of me does. Oh, well, whatever. And I guess it's next day now. I came to the yard looking for damage, but I've been spending the better part of my time here admiring it instead. Its fury spent, the rain lingered, finally tapering off and leaving behind a landscape looking too shiny and new to be real. The wet greenery looks so vibrant in the bright sunshine. Part of Claudia's flowers got flattened, but I know from experience that most of them will spring right back up. Even in disarray, they are a riot of colors in the slanting rays of a pleasant afternoon sun. Good. Doesn't look like any big branches broke. A sixth sense alerts me to the arrival of Claudia. Well, not really. She's been staring holes through her window for a while. It's only a matter of time before she felt anxious enough or reassured enough to come out. Anxious for her plants, reassured that the rain wasn't just hiding and waiting for her to peek out. Claudia doesn't like wet. She's not afraid of water, and she likes bathing on her own terms just fine, but getting splashed or sprayed, not so much. Though honestly, if I had even half as much hair as she does, I probably would be in the same boat. Timidly, she walks up to me, wrinkling her nose as she surveys the yard. Hi, Klaus. Come to check on me. Flowers and garden, heavy wind, so much. Everything looks fine, but telling her that won't do anything. Instead, I step aside, making way for her, and declare with mock seriousness, well, I'm not an expert, but I think they might not need any water for some time. Of course, she mostly ignores my silly teasings. She knows I wouldn't be doing it if I saw any problems or if there was something that might upset her. She flicks a single ear in my direction. Again, you know, lines like this, she knows I wouldn't be doing it if I saw problems. Does she know that? How do you know that she knows that? She only speaks in incomplete sentences. Like, he makes a lot of assumptions about things that he couldn't possibly actually know, because he's not a mind reader. But yeah, he jumps to a lot of conclusions. He's jumping to conclusions constantly in this thing. That's why I'm saying unreliable narrator. That's why I'm trying to read other interpretations into things. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, she flicks a single ear in my direction, then makes a beeline for the backyard border. I leave her to do as she likes. After making sure that the grill and fence and gate are all intact, I go back into the house. It's way too early, but I start preparing for dinner anyway. I want to take the time to do things properly. I've rushed through too many meals at too many strange hours of late. That's not cooking, it's damage control. I can and should do better, especially considering I have a recovering patient in the house. I firmly try to ignore my thoughts about Shimi, both good and bad. Of course, it's akin to trying not to think of pink elephants in no time at all, pink pachyderms everywhere, and one Neko. Yeah, isn't it like, sorry, I hope he washed the cut after Shimi scratched him. I mean, if she is indeed, like, feral and has been, like, out in the streets for who knows how long and has never washed her hands, like, her claws are going to get pretty dirty, right? You want to wash that ASAP. I don't know. I mean, I find that I have been scratched by a cat before, like an actual cat, and if you don't wash the cut afterward, it stings. It's noticeably worse if you don't wash it than if you do wash it. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, there's definitely a this is definitely a line on the screen. I mean, yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Wrong Neko. Do you need something, Pepper? Pepper takes a breath and declares, Pepper, what? Noodles, I know. Too bad you can't have noodles. I'm preparing something even better for dinner, though. Instead of sneaking around the kitchen, why don't you do me a favor and check on Shimi instead? Pepper's expression shows outrage and skepticism, though it's unclear whether at the insult to noodles or at the very idea that she might do something useful. Bah, cat, sashimi, bum, eat sashimi, yum. Yes, you're very witty. Grumbly, peppery noises play accompaniment to my dinner preparations. I find myself humming along and chopping the ingredients to the rhythm. I'll have to check on Shimi later. At the moment, my cooking demands all my attention. Yeah, I haven't commented on it so far, but like, I know Dev talked about, wow, what a pain it is to have to code in all these animations and stuff, like things like Pepper ducking behind the counter as her expression and position and pose changes. There's a lot of that in this. Anyway, moving on. I actually make 2 full meals. One will end up in the freezer, set aside for another day. The other we'll enjoy tonight. I completely lose myself in the cooking, and before I know it, the sun is starting to set. All the extra time and attention are really going to make a difference. Basic, boring foodstuffs are becoming a delicious meal once cooked with care. And a touch of love is truly the most important ingredient of all. The symphony of dinner preparation is interrupted by Pepper making a choking sound at my comment. Claudia's reappearance distracts me from Pepper. Well done, Claus? All your plants are good? Wonderful now. Glad. Claudia's sunny smile warms the kitchen better than the waning day star. Day star? I guess referring to the sun, I suppose. Good, and great timing. Dinner is basically ready. On cue, Claudia pulls out the tableware we'll need for dinner. It's only once the table is set, Claudia and Pepper are seated, and the food is ready to be served that the empty spot at the table draws my attention. I wait for the enticing smell to bring Shimi to us in her own time. It's really delicious. Shimi didn't come out for dinner last night. She didn't come out for breakfast this morning either. When I slid open the door and showed Shimi lunch, she certainly displayed interest. My expectation was that she'd follow me to the table. She didn't. Although I had put it completely out of my mind, as dinner simmers, my brain drifts back over our encounter at the table during the storm, replaying it in slow motion. When she grabbed me, it felt like Shimi's mind wasn't even there, and her body was on some primeval autopilot, snapped like a rat trap. Even drugged, she moved so fast. It ended well enough, but I'd be a fool to ignore the part in the middle. The reality is, I don't have a clue what a feral's really like. Shimi is uncivilized, unsocialized, unpredictable. The rules are crystal clear about treating a feral. Don't. It's just too risky. Yeah, I think I'm done giving ear rubs to ferals. I find myself unconsciously rubbing the scratch on my wrist, feeling her tight grip, her nails biting into me. Stick to feeding and first aid. This isn't a petting zoo. Pepper stands by the refrigerator. The high-maintenance Neko brings me back to the present. Pepper, hungry. Fridge, please, Pepper. Yummy, yummy. Feed Pepper, tummy. Feed Pepper, tummy, dummy. She's been extra peppery today. You can see I'm cooking, so here's an idea. How about you set the table? Chores reward? Yes, at the end of the week. Chores reward, now. You know that's not how it works. You get chores reward at the end of the week if you do all your chores, so go set the table, okay? No, chores, bore, Pepper reward, meow. I can't give you a reward every time you do something. Pepper, chores. Hungry reward. And yummies, and now, and gimme. Pepper pauses her rant and looks at me with an oddly challenging expression. What the hell are you talking about? Gimme. Give you what, you crazy pest? You're going to eat in a moment. Are you going to set the table or not? This is getting frustrating. Pepper narrows her eyes. Reward. Chores. Yeah, me. Is she messing with me? Is this some freaking game? Gamma, Guma, Gimme. I have no idea what she wants, and part of me thinks she doesn't either. Meanwhile, as usual, Claudia has picked up the slack. Well, Pepper, while you've been doing your little performance, Claudia set the table, so maybe this week she should get some of your chores reward. Pepper turns and glares hard as if Claudia has foiled some grand scheme that was being crafted. Claudia dismisses Pepper's glare, then turns to me. Burns. What? Burns. She points at the stove. My hand reaches out and twists off the burner control as my brain catches up. Shit, paying attention to Pepper instead of dinner. I've overcooked it. Pepper takes her seat next to Claudia, locking eyes on her in a stare that could boil steel. Claudia pointedly ignores Pepper. I guess we're doing this again. My attention is fixed on the 4 plates, but only 3 of us end up sitting at the table. Optimistically, I grabbed Goro's medical bag, and unfortunately, even with the house full of slightly burnt but very appetizing aromas of dinner, Shimi doesn't come out. Okay, let's eat. Pepper breaks her hard glare at Claudia to scarf down dinner. Claudia takes her time to enjoy the meal. Despite being overcooked, it's still very tasty. How's the garden today, Claudia? Plants, good. And butterflies. And hummingbirds. Hummingbirds. She gets a little excited. Claudia really likes those. Good. Yum. Good. Day. Claudia, bird, butterfly. Go, 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 go. Away. Pepper's interruption with her teasing song seems to shake Claudia for some reason. Claudia coldly fires back. Goro, go away. Wow, where did that come from? Pepper bares angry teeth and doubles down. Pepper, home now. Maybe Claudia fly, shoo fly, go away. The 2 Nekos glare hard at each other. Small twitches of their ears and the thump of a tail tell me that their bickering is continuing in some silent Neko manner, possibly intensifying. Hey! This is not how we behave. Claudia and Pepper return to their meals in a very dark version of the Neko dance. Girls, please. After another tense moment, they both seem to settle back down, eating like the civilized creatures they are expected to be. The rest of the meal is quiet, but not unpleasant. Pepper finishes first. After cleaning her dish, she heads outside to the backyard at night, carrying her hammer. I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing. Claudia finishes, cleans up the kitchen, and heads to her room. If I had to guess, she'll be painting her nails. Hmm. Yeah. Again, I'm feeling like, again, this depends on depending on how much planning went into the writing for this and so on. Like I'm having a feeling that there's something else going on behind the scenes that contributed to this like seeming out of nowhere conflict here. I don't know if there's going to be a reveal later on, but what's something else actually going on or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking. Oh, maybe I'm overthinking. I'm going to move on. Anyway, then it's just me, Goro's medical bag, and Shimi's untouched dinner alone at the table. I stare at her plate. The still life of the untouched meal is a taunt that I can't help but feel riled by. I should just let her rest. But she still needs her bandages changed. Yesterday it didn't happen. Yeah, and again, yeah, the very dark version of the Nico Dad still more stunning prose, really. Yeah, yeah. What can I say? Is a lot of the protag's internal monologue is like that. Uh, what can I say? Um, as a, I don't know, he has a certain colorful way of expressing himself. But yeah, again, depending on how much plan goes into the writing, like it's like what a conversation you and I had, Dev, not too long ago about secondary characters having their own inner worlds. Like even though this the focus of this story is on our point of view character, who is very possibly an unreliable narrator and is makes lots of assumptions and is tied up in his own concerns and so on. Maybe the other characters have other things going on with them that he isn't aware of. And hey, maybe that bit where he just randomly decided to try to giving Shimi an ear rub affected her more than he's realizing, and that's causing her to not want to come out. Anyway, move right along. And she needs to eat. I have to do something. I tap her spork on the empty dish and call out, "Hey, hey Shimi, come eat." There's no hint of movement from the closet. Again, I encourage. "Come on, Shimi. All good pharaohs come out and eat dinner." Still nothing. There isn't enough room in the closet for me to crawl in there and change her bandages, and honestly, I don't want to be crowded like that with her, not after the wrist thing. The third time I call her name and tap the spork does it. The closet door slides open and Shimi finally reveals herself. "There you are." The joy in my voice surprises me and brings an unexpected smile to my lips. Shimi stands watching, hesitating, and half out of the closet, one foot solidly anchored within. And her eyes are half closed in the manner that they've been when she's drugged, so I wonder. Anyway. Well, come on. Good stuff here. It's a little overcooked, but I know you'll like it. Still, she hesitates. Before I can contemplate if this is something worth contemplating, she breaks the hold on whatever has her rooted to the spot. She makes her slow way towards me. Her pace is slow. She seems very tired and is definitely limping now, but she does come. Halfway down the hall, she pauses, leaning against the wall for a moment, a long moment. Then comes the rest of the way, stopping again just short of the table. Following our regular pattern, I wait before I give her any food. That's good, Shimi. I have to change your bandages, so I can't let you just run off with the plate. We both know that if I can get you to sit, you'll stick around. Leaning heavily on the table with her good arm, she slowly lowers herself and sits, ready for our ritual. Last thing I need is your condition getting worse. Shimi's gaze darts from the food to my mouth and back. Wildcat. I mean, your condition getting worse wouldn't be good for either of us, obviously. Watching me with her unblinking eye, she picks up the spork, clumsily holding it the way she's seen Pepper and Claudia use it. I put a few bites into her bowl, and she eats. We fall back into the comfort of the routine we'd created together. All of a sudden, I'm reminded, Deb, if you're still there, of what was that story called? The one about the yellow wallpaper? About that, the woman with her doctor husband who insists that she needs to do various things for her own good, and ends up being very controlling and taking away all her agency. Yellow wallpaper is the title. Yeah. I don't know. I just what I'm reminded of in this, him insisting that she needs to do this for her own good, etc., etc. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know what actually would be the best for her. Oh well, I'm gonna move right along. Routine we created together. Takes her several attempts to get food onto the spork and several more to get a bite into her mouth. Even though she struggles with the tool, she keeps working with it. There you go. See? You're getting better with the spork. She really isn't, but I softly encourage her anyway. I stick to the unwritten rules of our deal and avoid making any prolonged eye contact. I really sound like an idiot when I talk to you or talk at you. Either way, glad you don't judge me like a human would. I also speak at her about nothing in a low monotone, keeping her soothed and buying time until the meds mixed into the food take effect. You know, Shimi, this is another first for us. First time I had to call you to come eat. Put more food into her dish. She scoops at it with her spork. You normally just appear when you're hungry. Her eyes are drooping now after just a few bites of the spiked meal. Meds coursing through her veins already have her half asleep. It's crazy to see how quickly antihistamines seem to work on you. The little devil on my shoulder comments, "We've seen what can still happen when she's in that state." The slight tingling from my recent wound agrees. And there's also the possibility that she's, playing up the effects of the meds a bit. I don't know. Anyway. I wish that stuff worked as quickly on me when I take it for allergies. It really shows how different we are. Yeah. So anyway, that's why I drugged the neko girl this very normal VN. Yeah. It's, yeah, I mean, yeah, everything about, yeah, the whole, oh, you need to keep her drugged up so she doesn't injure herself or whatever. It's very much, it's very much treating her like she's an animal, she's she's a wild animal with no ability to, no ability to reason out that, oh, hey, I should be careful with that injured limb so it can heal, and needs to be drugged up to the point that she's unable to injure herself, or re-injure herself. Yes, very normal, yeah. Yeah, that's, Sorry, it's yeah. I don't know what to say. Like it's. I'm just playing along. I'm continuing reading through it, but yeah, it's. Thanks, Dev, for uh, comment reminding me that it's like this whole thing is kind of odd. Um, it's how how do I articulate this? Like odd in the sense of yeah, I'm still waiting for the deconstructionalist twist. I know, right? Same here. It's it still seems like a more normal sketch VN. Yeah, yeah. No, that's my interpretation too. Like it's how do I put it? Like how do I say this? How do I articulate it? Like it's like the game is an expression of I don't know some fantasy of being this loner male protagonist guy who's surrounded by beautiful women who who he doesn't actually have to be concerned about pesky things like consent or whatever, or even having to care if they live or die or whatever. We're living in a society where they don't have to care about these things. Um, these women with no human rights. Thank you. Yes, exactly. It's it's I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably sounding terribly judgmental, etc. I would like to think. I mean, from the context of what I've heard about this game going in, it it seems like that's the intent, that it's supposed to draw the people in who expect that sort of thing, so that it can subvert that expectation later on. Sometimes judgmental is justified. Yeah, yeah. It's but arguably, it's the kind of thing that DDLC had going on. That um, it's designed to rope in the people who are really into dating simulators, so that it can subvert it. And um, yeah, this game has waited an awful long time to deploy its hook. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, that's why I'm making the comparison to DDLC. I mean, that also waited a long time to deploy its hook. There's like, there's easily like, depending on reading speed, there's several hours of material before you get to Act 2 in DDLC, and you know, um, so it's not like it doesn't make it a bad thing if this also takes its time getting around to uh, any such thing, if that's where it's going. Anyway, moving right along. I wish that stuff worked as quickly on me when I take it for allergies. It really shows how different we are. I put the rest of her food into her dish, steady myself, and open Goro's medical bag. Time to change your bandages. Leaning towards Shimi to unwrap her arm, my movements are slow and careful. I push her wrist grab out of my head, thinking instead about the first time she came into the house, the first time that she got the antihistamines, the very first time I touched a feral neko. You smelled really bad when you were absolutely filthy, covered in dirt, dried blood. You were practically naked. I lift my hands from Shimi's warm arm and lean away. My rambling derails my ability to concentrate on the bandage. What did I just say? You were almost naked. I have to pause and collect myself and reflect on why I said that. Am I enjoying this too much? I steal a quick glance at her, but Shimi's broken hand is relaxed, carried far away by the medicine. New question bothers me. What am I doing with this feral? It's a fair question, but isn't the answer obvious? It's not like I'm some perverted dude that fantasizes about Nikos. Am I? No. And even if I was, there's Pepper and Claudia. I mean, if I was looking for cheap, freaky thrills, I'd turn on the showers and Pavlovian response would kick in and Pepper'd be naked. Babaka, yeah. Someone in denial of how he's feeling. Anyway. So I know it's not that. I'm doing this because you'd have died if I didn't. But that's not all, is it? I mean, of course I'm strangely fascinated by you. I know I've been remarking that I need to keep some space between us because of how different we are, but it doesn't seem to stop me. In fact, I think that only adds to it. You're feral, I'm human, oil and water, things that do not mix, never ever. And yet, look at us. That's the core of it. It's like two different types of aliens have managed to create a bridge. In forging this connection, we both treat it like a ceremony. The steps that we follow will allow our two worlds to come together. And feral and human, we did that. It's a really, really big deal. It really is. A very big deal. I don't think anyone would believe it. Of course, the devil tries to spoil my moment of self-congratulation by adding a big dangerous deal. Yesterday we got lucky. Very normal things to think when you take him astray. Yeah. Yes, the cognitive dissonance is strong with this one. Anyway, it's not wrong. Seriously, no matter how well she learns to use that spork, Shimi is an injured, drugged animal, and I should be wary of her. I know I should be, but I'm just not. I'm really not. I've never had an experience like this before. My life has been a boring nothing of self-isolation. Other than Goro and Mia getting me to go out, I've always been happy to do things or even nothing alone. But when I'm with you, I feel different, like a different person when we're doing this Shimi, and I guess a part of me is enthralled by that. Fire is fun to play with until you get burned. I catch Shimi, still dazedly watching my mouth make words, her eyes more closed than open. She also seems different. Not just medicated, there's something off about her. As I begin securing the bandage on the warm skin of her arm. Keeps throwing words like that in there. If we're skin of her arm, it comes to me. MC, I'm not that bad. Pot pea kettle. Yeah. Swear to God, if she's in heat, I give up on this game. I was. I mean, I was thinking that during the previous scene, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I should mention it. But that thought did cross my mind. And the fact that it keeps referring to her as warm. Anyway. Warm. Her skin is warm. Warmer than it should be. Not warm. Hot. A fever? God damn it, all this time I've been preoccupied with my wild musings. I haven't paid attention to her in the way I should. She definitely feels hot. Much hotter compared to how she's been, and her ear was warm too. A flush goes through me, making me freak out a little. Mild panic jumbles my thoughts. I mean, I know she's injured, but sick is a different story. What do I do if you're sick? I think of Goro. I can't call him, but what would he do? I should take your temperature. We'll see. I mean, yeah. And, I mean, Goro did give Protag the number of another doctor who works under the table that he indicated would be good to call if he needed help with Shimi. Anyway. As I rummage through Goro's medical bag, the futility of it all creeps over me. My haste to find the thermometer slows. My minor panic attack unwinds, both replaced with the grim reality. Slow clap for MC noticing things. Eh. Even if I find a thermometer, how am I going to use it on a neko? Well, it depends on what kind of thermometer. If we're talking about like an oral thermometer, then yeah, good luck. Like, if you got the one that you just can press to your forehead and go beep, then that would probably be ideal in this circumstance. I think it might depend on what era this takes place in here. But the fact that he says, how am I going to use it on the neko, seems to suggest that it's like, I don't know. That'd be smart, yeah. Anyway, moving right along. The thermometer that goes in the ear, she has the wrong kind of ear. The mouth kind, it's not food. I really don't want my fingers near her mouth. I don't even want to think about the other kind. Presumably he's referring to a rectal thermometer here. if they have those eyes, yeah. Besides, what's the normal temperature for a neko? The question directed to Shimi is met with her absent stare. I could look it up on my phone. The military uses nekos, so the military uses nekos? There's another bit of world building there. So someone must know what a cat's normal body temperature is, but I'm not seeing a thermometer of any kind in Goro's bag, so it's all moot. I find myself doing what I'm not supposed to be doing when we're this close. I'm looking directly into her eye. She hasn't tensed up, raised her guard, or backed off. Something seems to be missing in her stare, different even from last time. What the F war, Nikos? I mean, yeah, right? In what manner would the military be using them? As... what? That has all kinds of uncomfortable implications, depending on what direction you take that in. Okay, anyway. Maybe... the rats mean business. Yeah. Maybe, could you be reacting badly to the pain reliever or to the antihistamines? I never even considered that because I have no idea what I'm doing. Not just her medical treatment, but dealing with the feral at all. Anyone else would have called an ambulance to put her down, wash their hands of the whole situation. I couldn't do that. Jimmy's head starts to bob. She's barely able to stay awake. She rises, dragging herself off of the chair, and I inadvertently pull away. Despite supporting herself with her good arm, Shimi sways, nearly tipping over. She looks over to her hoard behind the curtains, considers going over there to check her stash, but instead closes her eyes. Then she turns and heads back to the hall closet, leaning against the wall the whole way. She's either sick or having a negative reaction to the pills. I have to cut her meds, I say to the empty chair. The chair offers no opinion. Maybe, I mean, it's very possible that I'm overreacting. I really don't have a clue what I'm doing, but if there is a problem, I need to identify it. I can't really do that while she's drugged up to her ears. If she acts better without the meds, great. If she doesn't, I'll know there's an actual problem and have to come up with a plan to deal with it. My words bounce from the empty chair to the part of my brain that seems to complicate and second-guess everything I do. I sure hope this decision, having an unsedated feral, doesn't come back to bite me. Bike in bold text. Ignoring that little devil, I collect the old bandage, Shimmy's spork, and her bowl. She only ate half her dinner, but she did eat. Yeah, the reference to war nekos, come to think of it, there, Maddie's profile status has said for quite a while, has said cry havoc and let slip the nekos of war. I just assumed that was a joke, but is that a direction that this story is going to go in? Whatever it is that the military is using nekos for? Yeah. Anyway. You're a very odd person, whoever you are. Ah, phone battery's almost dead. I don't know what's gotten into me today, but I feel strangely energized. I was up early, even before Claudia. After a quick trip to the grocery store, I rushed back home and started making breakfast right away. Cooking is feeling like a compulsion. Maybe Shimi is rubbing off on me. I kept even more distance between me and everyone I came across than usual. I just didn't want interactions while going to the store. Having a buffer around me felt really nice. Although Pepper is still trying to cause mischief, both girls did a good job helping me in the kitchen for breakfast and lunch. Shimi stayed in her closet. Maybe that's just her buffer. Like an offering, I place her plate of lunch on the floor and carefully crack open the closet door. Not much, just enough that she'll be tempted to grab it. The dish is still warm and the aroma is pleasant. Softly I announce, "Hey, Shimi, I have some honey and orange glazed chicken for you." She'll eat it. Who doesn't like honey and orange glazed chicken? Claudia's in my room, putting my clean laundry into the dresser. She gives me a smile as we pass each other. I used to feel bad about her doing this for me, cleaning my room, collecting my laundry, and putting my clean clothes away, but at the same time, she really doesn't have a lot to keep her occupied. Strange as it sounds, helping around the house seems to be what makes her happiest. At least she keeps busy. And it's definitely not a bad deal for me. I run the clothes washer and dryer, then Claudia folds and puts everything away. I do the cooking, Claudia helps and cleans up after. I used to be a good person, but now I've accepted being a slave owner. I mean, yeah, pretty much. I was going to be slightly more generous than the slave owner, but yeah. Like I was gonna like I made the comment earlier about how it feels like I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. Every plant around here would be dead if it wasn't for her. Mia never really talked about Claudia before the sudden get rid of her nonsense. Mostly she acted like Shimi with that thunderstorm, mildly annoyed but mostly indifferent to her existence. Oh yeah, like I said before, like there's a definite impression that you know, it's actually likely that Protag just had the same obliviousness toward Mia's reactions as he did to like absolutely everything else so far in this game. It's yeah, I'm now like very strongly suspecting that Mia actually had a lot of obvious annoyance to Claudia's presence that Protag just ignored or was unaware of. Just kind of being generally dense about. Yeah. Women who have opinions and thoughts of their own, I just don't understand. Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. I think the one time Mia said something about Claudia, it was all she needs is a maid outfit. Yeah, I was, yeah, that was the thing I was thinking, you know, I mean, you made the comment about slave owner, Dev. I was gonna make a comparison to a maid, but you know, Claudia isn't paid, so yeah, I guess slave is closer than maid in comparison. Anyway, moving on. Or something stupid like that, as if Claudia was a character from some dumb anime where the cat girl lives only to serve her human with quips of, "So grateful, a mindless servant with tits." That's how Mia saw her. Looking back, Mia sure did make extra work for Claudia. I should have told Mia off at the time. I didn't, but I should have. I mean, isn't that what Protag already sees her as? Mindless servant with tits? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. At least I appreciate Claudia. She's part of the family. She helps out because she wants to, not because she has to. Then again, but does she know that? Is that the state of things, though? does she even know that she doesn't have to? It like, what if she suddenly decided not to someday? How how would that play out? Sorry, is the okay. Uh, how does he know she wants to? Yeah, exactly. I think that's just another one of his many assumptions. Yeah, the reason I took my headphones off just now is like here I was hearing a faint tinkling sound and I was like, is that part of the music? And it's like, no, I think it's the I think the toilet in the other room is it's been leaking for a while. It's it alternates between hissing or tinkling sounds. I'll yeah, go deal with that later. They've got an ad break coming up in 4.5 minutes, so yeah, I can tend to that then. But yeah, how does he know she wants to? How does he know anything he claims to in his internal monologue in this? Really, it really feels he makes like it makes a lot of assumptions. Anyway, moving on. I'm embarrassed to admit, I think I have a manga like that with a tropey Nico made. Mianya Kakuro, I think it's called. No, it's Nyako made. It's around here somewhere, probably packed away in a box in the closet with Shimi. Um, I can't remember why I came into my room. There was a reason I came in here, but now I have no idea what it was. Odd. I can't really remember what I did between breakfast and lunch either. I still don't know what day it is. I feel like I should be more concerned about that, but I'm not. So instead of standing around like I have brain damage, I decide to head back towards the kitchen. It's too early, but the urge to start working on dinner pulls me. Maybe I can spend time looking through that cookbook. He loves assuming, so it seems. Yeah. Anyway, this is a curious thing here. I mean, did he really just space out and forget, or maybe he really is losing his mind? Hey, maybe his Nikos are drugging him now. I mean, he's made a show of grinding up the meds so many times. They've got to know where they are if they did decide to drug him, and he's clearly doesn't have any expectation that they're cutting enough for that. 2.5 minutes to ad break. Hey, moving right along. I was only in my room for a few minutes, but the plate I left in the hallway for Shimi is already gone. A big smug grin erupts on my face. Good girl, Shimi. There are no antihistamines or pain relievers in her food. My intent had been to wean her off of them, give her half a pill for a while, and then none. But when I made the meal earlier, I actually forgot to put any into Shimi's portion. But what do you mean you forgot to? You explicitly said you were going to stop giving it to her in the previous scene. I would have assumed you deliberately didn't put them in. But okay, whatever. Didn't expect her to hide in the closet all day again. No matter, though. She'll have a full ballet. I'll give her half the meds in her next meal. There are moments in your life when it all feels right. Getting Shami to eat is just a minor victory in the scheme of things. Still, I'm proud of myself. That is, until I happen to look out the back window. The smile I was sporting falls away and is replaced with a bitter frown. Pepper? She's dancing around the backyard, eating from a plate of food. Oh no, did she take Shimi's meal? Oh, 1 minute to ad break. Forgot, right? Yeah. Yeah, the plate looks suspiciously like the one I left outside of the hallway closet. I storm into the backyard in thunder. Pepper! What? Where'd you get that plate? Find her, keep her. I knew it. You took Shimi's food, didn't you? Not sashimi food, hallway food, pepper food now. Find her, keep her, lose her, weep her. Put my hand out. Give it to me. She jumps away from me, stuffing a big spoonful of food into her mouth. Hey, get back here. Food, Fender Cooper. I lunge at her and try to grab the plate. Pepper, stuffing food into her mouth and balancing a plate with one hand, is still able to dodge and avoid my best attempts to catch her. I would really have to go full speed with the intent of attacking her, and even if I was successful, it would surely leave any remaining food scattered all over the backyard. With no other ideas, I fumble around as Pepper easily avoids pursuit. Outbreak is imminent. Chase is over before it begins. I stop. My cheeks flush red and the heat surges inside me. I let it take over. Damn it, Pepper, no more chores reward. Pepper stops. Shock morphs into anger. Her cheeks flush red and I can almost feel a palpable heat surge from her. She looks like she's going to throw the plate onto the ground, or maybe at me. For a worrying minute, I'm not sure what she's going to do, and I think neither is she. When thankfully nothing beyond a very dirty look happens, I turn and head back into the kitchen. No, that ended abruptly. Anyway, I think maybe I'll just get a jump start on that break. I'll be right back. And I'm back again. Yeah, that whole curious interaction with Pepper sort of belies anger management failure moment. Welcome back. Yeah, it's more than anger management thing. It's sort of, what am I trying to say here? It betrays a sense of it betrays his lack of self-awareness that he just, a few minutes earlier was saying that Claudia, oh, she just does those chores because she wants to, and she doesn't, and she doesn't have to. Meanwhile, he's withholding rewards from Pepper if she doesn't do chores, which, again, in turn betrays the power difference between them. That he's the one that has control over. Is in control of whether they get rewards or whatever, or even basic necessities like food. In that kind of dynamic, how can you be sure she knows she doesn't have to do the chores in that kind of environment? Anyway, moving right along. Turn and head back into the kitchen. Great. Now I have to do all this again. Pull out food and drop it too hard onto the counter. My sharp movements hide none of the fresh anger as I vent frustration on the hapless ingredients. A short time ago I was itching to cook something, and now I'm finding zero joy in the preparation. Catch a glimpse of Pepper through the window. No longer eating or dancing, she looks just as angry as I feel. Mad. Claudia's presence startles me, but the jolt can't shake all the tension I'm feeling. I'm fine, Claudia. I convince neither of us as I bang a pan onto the stovetop. Help now. No, I don't need help. My dismissive snap shocks both of us and leaves Claudia unsure how to react. Claudia watches me another moment, then retreats back into her sunroom. Immediately I feel bad. She didn't deserve that. I also may have been a little too hard on Pepper. Honestly, I can't say why I reacted the way I did to either of them. Pepper's just a neko. It makes sense to me that seeing food outside a closet would clearly indicate that it's for the neko in the closet, but maybe Pepper doesn't think that way. Then again, she strikes me as clever enough to figure it out. It's more likely this is her having fun continuing some prank. Claudia came in here to help me, to make me feel better, and I acted like a jerk. I acted like Mia? This is the association he's made with Mia, then? Like that jerk Mia. Is this suggesting this is the way she always acts? Anyway. Suddenly, some reverse King Midas. Everything I touch turns to shit. I run my hand over the back of my head and close my eyes. I pause to just breathe for a while, reset myself as the ingredients in the pan simmer, the pop and sizzle of cooking food reflecting the turmoil in my belly. I'm fine. It's in fact not fine. I mean, yeah, pretty much. What's with these mood swings? I'm all over the place. Joy, anger, now gloom. Am I worried about Shimi and spilling all over everything else? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if I should even be worried at all. She's a feral that I keep trying to ascribe human traits to. But Claudia and Pepper are domestics. I should be better at dealing with them. Once I finish preparing a second meal for Shimi, I call to Claudia and Pepper. Girls, come into the kitchen, please. They meet me halfway, coming only as close to me as necessary to comply with my request. Claudia with a guarded expression, and Pepper angrily avoiding looking directly at me. Hey, girls, I I'm not sure, but I think Shimi might be sick. More than just injured, sick too. My words get their attention. When you're sick, it's important to eat good food so you can get better. Serious. Claudia nods. I know that she understands all this. Pepper probably does too, but I keep talking anyway. Yes, if she is sick, it could become serious, so it's important that Shimi eats or she won't get better, she'll get worse. Guiltily, Pepper hides the plate she took behind her back. If either of you get hungry, you know there's usually something in the fridge or a cabinet to snack on, or just ask me. I'll happily cook something. I take a deep breath. Now comes the hard part. I'm sorry I got mad at you guys. You didn't deserve that. I think I'm worried about this Shimi, and I wish Goro was here. Oh boy. Pepper snaps her attention back to me. She looks like she's just been shocked by cattle prod. Crap. Sorry, Pepper. I just mean... Goro will be able to help treat a sick person much better than I can. Pepper's expression softens. We share a sad look at the absence of someone who is a huge part of our lives. Someone we both miss. Claudia absorbs it all. But he's not here, Pepper. It's just us. And yes, Claudia, I do need your help. I need help from you both. I'm really sorry for yelling. Claudia's forgiving smile dissipates a good deal of the heavy atmosphere. Pepper surrenders the plate she swiped earlier. There are about 2 bites left on it. You go ahead and finish it, Pepper. I made more for Shimi. No. Pepper looks very serious and drops her tone. Pepper, help. I smile and take the plate from her. After adding the new food from the pan, Pepper takes the meal and heads down the hallway, placing it at the spot where it was earlier. Claudia and I watch Pepper linger for a moment in front of Shimi's door. I look at the still steaming plate of food on the hallway floor. I'm tempted to go and try to feed Shimi in her closet, but if it was me in there having a buffer around... But if it was me in there, ... in italics, having a buffer around me felt really nice. Okay, I was... And I'm back. Oh, welcome back, Steph. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to parse out that sentence there. I'm tempted to go and try to feed Shimi in her closet, but if it was me in there, ... then there's a line break. Then in italics, having a buffer around me felt really nice. I think the way I'm supposed to parse these sentences is like, he would feel uncomfortable being in the closet, and having a buffer meaning having Pepper hand her the food felt really nice. Or is this line a callback to a previous? There was a previous reference to a buffer. I'm not quite clear on how I'm supposed to parse this out here. Whatever. Moving on. I'll give her space for now. Did he put meds in her meal this time? There was a bit of a back and forth. He said he was going to try to wean her off the meds, and then he said, he forgot to put the meds in there, and then he said he was going to put half a dose in the next one, and then there was no reference to meds this time. So there's a bit of back and forth. There's so much back and forth in the internal monologue, I'm really not sure where he is with that. Anyway, part of me just wants to worry about her. I stifle it as best I can, remembering feral nekos are not like people, or even like domesticated nekos. Who knows what Shimi was eating when she lived on the street? Rats, most likely. Maybe on a rare occasion some cat bread that a kind person left out. Because of the rats, they got rid of all the garbage cans, and the restaurants and grocery stores stopped giving away cat bread. So, just rats. Gross, right? And how often was she eating? It's unlikely Shimi was getting 3 healthy, well-portioned meals every day, like Claudia and Pepper do. More likely Shimi got to eat 1 or 2 meals every few days. Maybe less? Since being here, she's been eating better than ever before, at least 2 good meals a day. Maybe more, if she's also been sneaking food. She's known to move around the house at night, collecting things for her stash. There's usually something in the fridge and plenty of dry goods in the cabinets. She might even have a hoard of food in the closet with her. That does sound like something a feral would do. This allows me to relax and mostly stop worrying. Speaking of her stash, I haven't checked it since before the storm. It's funny. Checking her stuff, I get the joy of opening a present, as I never know what I'll find, and there's also that feeling you get secretly reading someone's journal. This is her secret stash. When I look, I gain insight into a side of Shimi I'd never get to see otherwise. I excitedly pull back the curtain. Excitedly? Whoa. The last time I checked her hoard, it had a towel, a canvas shopping bag, and that stupid can of crushed tomatoes. She's added two things I was not prepared to find. The first is a knife. It's the carving knife with the blue resin handle from the kitchen, long, heavy, and very sharp. Seeing it evokes the feeling of her nails biting into my flesh. Wildcat. I'm momentarily overcome by a very real sense of dread at how dangerous she really is. Shimi sneaking around the house at night carrying this knife while we're all asleep. Actually, a knife makes sense. What better tool for killing and skinning rats? It's natural that Shimi would want a knife like Pepper with the hammer, but Pepper doesn't sneak around the house in the dark with her hammer. I need to stop thinking like this. If Shimi wanted to hurt me, she wouldn't need a knife. I might be rationalizing because I want to focus on the other thing that she's added to her hoard. Now invade this animal's privacy. Very happy about it. I know, right? And again, because he's thinking about her as an animal. And, well, I mean, I say as an animal, like even animals have their own wants and needs and so on. I should, it's more like, as certain people's perceptions of animals, I guess. That certain people who might perceive them to, like not have any rights or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the fact that he said he's excitedly look at them kind of rubs you the wrong way. But anyway, moving on. The other item which grabs my full attention, sitting atop the can of crushed tomatoes. She has one of my old pictures. Oh, another protag pic reveal. Protag face reveal. Is that supposed to be like a scar on his cheek there? That line there? Yeah, anyway. I'm holding the knife with one hand and the photo with the other, but my attention is only on the photo. She must have pulled it out of one of the boxes in her closet, a box of stuff I never took when I moved out, or a box I never unpacked when me and I moved back in. I can't even remember where this came from. A school? A passport? I'm smiling, both in the photo and now holding it, and I'm sure I'm reading way too much into the meaning of this, but still. Yet the knife doesn't bother him. Yeah. I'm something she values enough to keep in her stash. Yeah, again, you know, taking this in the vein of that particular kind of, as Dev said, sketch VN, and he's looking at it with excitement of, oh, she values me or something. Hamlet has no human rights, keeps a sentimental photo of me. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Smiling, I put the photo back into her stash. The knife and can of crushed tomatoes go into the kitchen. Oh, so he's taking from her stash now. Okay. Part of me just wants to worry about her. ... Oh. Another Corvid jump scare. I guess. Anyway. takes a moment for me to realize where I am and that I'm not sleeping even though I think I am. It's that weird thing that your subconscious does where it pretends that you're asleep, so you'll believe that you are asleep and maybe you'll fall back asleep. It doesn't work. Dragging myself from my bed, something I've done countless times before, seems unfamiliar, chimeric, and dreamlike. Chimeric? That's... Does that word have another meaning that I'm unaware of? Okay. I mean, seeing the word chimeric, I immediately think of, a chimera, like a mythical beast which has, parts from multiple animals or whatever. But apparently it also has another meaning: hoped for but illusory or impossible to achieve. Okay, so it's tied to something. It's chimerical would be the correct word, though. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, dictionary seems to have chimeric as a word, so probably these are impossible to achieve. Chimeric. I mean, chimeric's an adjective. I mean, I don't know. Just fair enough. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, chimeric and dreamlike. So I still don't see how that word fits here, though. Because the dictionary definition here says hoped for but illusory or impossible to achieve. Like, dreamlike, okay. But chimeric? Illusory, impossible to achieve? I don't get it. Yeah, whatever. Moving right along. As if the room is expanding and contracting simultaneously, inflating like a balloon while receding into the distance. And me, I'm also expanding and receding with it, just slightly out of sync with the bed and walls and ceiling. The air around me is syrupy, sticky, dense. Closing my hands, I can almost hold on to it. I pull myself across my room. Okay, so is this still a dream sequence here? Claudia standing outside of Shimi's closet in the middle of the night is unexpected. Like finding flowers growing from cracks in asphalt, she stands out brightly from the gloom hanging throughout the house. Is this a dream? I'm surprised to see her. Actually, that's not true at all. I should be surprised to see Claudia, but instead her presence feels appropriate. Statue still, the tiny adjustments of her ears are her only movements as she listens for sounds from the closet. Serious now. The same nagging worry that kept me from sleep and dragged me here also brought her. Pepper appears beside me as well. We're all up. All except one. Schrodinger's Neko. Should there be an umlaut over that O? Oh well. No one needs to say it. Their expressions mirror my own. The roots of worry burrow deep, entangling and distressing, and somehow bring all of us from our beds, drawing us to the source of it. Claudia and Pepper feel very far away. Their tension matches mine. I'm not sure how I know that. No, this is not a dream. I wish it was, but I know it's not. The untouched plate of food, cold and stale, breaks the spell. My belly tightens. I curse myself for ignoring the signs. I should have figured this out. I never should have waited this long. Time to open the box. Shimi? My voice doesn't sound like me. The door slides easily, revealing her, though no blue eye greets me. Shimi lies slumped against the boxes, breathing. There isn't the great feeling of relief I expected to feel, yet somehow knew I wouldn't. That vague uncertainty, that nagging concern instead remains, redoubles, intensifies, as if becoming corporeal. Shimi's closet is an oven of fever. She's the cause. Drenched in sweat, her breathing is too fast. Shimi? There is something else, something hazardous, like a dark flavor. No, like a thick color. I'm not making any sense. I can only describe it as another presence here with Shimi, one that has no awareness or physical form. A foe I cannot fight that tugs at her, pulling at a part of Shimi. Hmm? Another presence? Did she have a kitten or something? I don't know. Something trying to take her away. Presumably, if I'm not expecting this to go in the direction if she had a kid. Like surely she would have shown being pregnant. But anyway, those irrational thoughts make my actions feel sloppy and unconvincing, like I'm moving through thick mud, forcing them away and myself forward. I reach towards Shimi. Hey. My fingers touch her shoulder. She responds to my contact. Raising her head slightly, she briefly shudders, then slumps again. Shimi? My hand follows my fingers to her shoulder, giving her a small shake that causes her eyelids to crack open. I brush her hair away, revealing her face. Shimi's half-closed eye doesn't register me. Her eye gazes through me, momentarily focuses on me, then glazes beyond into fog again. I shift, trying to get closer in the tiny space taken up by jackets and boxes, blankets and pillows, and Shimi. The closet walls and ceiling tighten around me, squeezing like a fist as I pull her closer. It's damned hot in here. Like a furnace, Shimi's heat presses out against the shadows that seem endless and cold. The dim sliver of light spilling into this place feels like a lifeline. I can't leave you here. When I lift Shimi from the corner of the closet, she lets out a dazed moan. Her hand clumsily snatches a fistful of my shirt. It's sudden, even in her weakened state. My alarm nearly causes me to drop her, but her token resistance quickly melts away. She continues to glare at me, gripping my shirt. There's fight still in her. Good, hold on to me. I need to get her out of here. Without room to maneuver, my efforts to be careful of her injuries slow my progress to a crawl. She shivers again. I feel her heart pound as I cradle her against me. She's like an engine that has been running too fast and too hot for too long. My shirt is instantly soaked from the sweat pouring off of her. Outside the closet's grip, the air in the hallway is frigid. Shimi arches. I hold her tight. Claudia's in my bedroom waiting for us. Pepper follows, watching all of it from a distance. He set her on his bed? He has been giving her water, right? I mean, he obviously should be giving her water anyway, but especially if she's got a fever, having extra fluids is important. And especially if she's like drenched in sweat like that, like she's probably losing a lot of water. I knew I was forgetting something. Yeah. Yeah. There's still no mention of the doctor that Goro specifically. He gave Protag the number for, specifically if he needed any more assistance with Shibi. Like, did he completely forget? Did Maddie, who was writing this, completely forget? I don't know. Anyway. Lay Shimi onto my bed. Claudia covers her with the blanket. The shadows remain where they are, for now. Shimi shivers again, grimaces, and lets out a pained groan. It will be okay. Reaching onto the bedside table for my phone, I effectively start to call, but I can't. Goro's not there anymore. Okay, again, no mention of the doctor that Goro told him to call if there were any more issues. Goro's not a doctor? Don't ask me la motato. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, yeah. I am not necessarily asking you to answer these questions. I like to speculate out loud. That's just what I do. Don't start with that now. What's this Goro is not a doctor? I mean, that was it is established that he is a doctor. Yeah, that's why he had a medical bag to leave him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you missed that part. But um, EMT, anyways. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess he was an EMT, not a doctor per se. But anyway, moving right along. Not sure what I felt last night, but something drew us all of us to Shimi. I don't know. It could have just been a noise. Claudia or Pepper or Shimi made a noise, and that's why I got up. But I know that's not it. There was no noise. Shaking off the strange feeling, I returned to my task. Broth. I don't know. Is this implying that there's some psychic connection between them or something? I mean, there have been repeated instances of him reacting to her in the room before he knew he was there. My task broth. Fire. Light. Current task broth. Fire. Fire line current task broth. Anyway, moving on. It took a while for Shimi to give in to sleep. She didn't stay asleep for long. I changed her bandages while Claudia worked to bring her temperature down, dabbing a cool, damp washcloth on her head and cheeks. Shimi kept resurfacing into almost consciousness, pain and fever interrupting any hope for rest. She would resist Claudia and me for being too close, but couldn't muster the strength to flee or force us away. Yeah, I'm suddenly reminded of the DDLC mod exit music of all things, and coming back to that whole visual novel dating simulator audience insert fantasy whatever kind of deal, like like conveniently forgetting about the doctor. Could fit. Okay. Well, I mean, okay. Depending on how you interpret this, like, interpreting it as like, oh, is this supposed to be the audience insert fantasy of, being the hero that carries for this beautiful girl, etc. Or you could interpret it as just as the protag wanting to be in that sort of hero fantasy of looking at being the one to look after her and being the one to save her or whatever, and he's not going to consider calling the doctor. But yeah, I'm reminded. The reason I mentioned exit music is there's an early scene. There's an early scene in that mod. I guess for anyone who has played it, the focus of the story is on the character Natsuki, who's living with an abusive father, and early on in the story, she makes a suicide attempt by I guess content warning for talk of suicide. She makes a suicide attempt by in the original version she tries to take an overdose of morphine. I made the comment, like, after playing the demo, I gave the author of the mod feedback that if she's overdosing on morphine, she really needs to get to a hospital. But instead, in the mod, in the story, MC brings Natsuki back to his home to, look after her and nurse her back to health there. And again, that's the whole, uh, you know, fantasy of being the hero or whatever. Um, like, that MC always so good at dealing with mental health crises. Yeah, right. um, yeah, what am I trying to say here? Um, yeah, I pointed out to the author that if she's overdosing to the point that she's experiencing the symptoms that are being described in the mod, like she's gonna die if she doesn't get additional drugs from paramedics, or from doctors. Like, it's like this isn't something you can just bring her home and nurse her back to health from. And the author still like really wanted to have MC look after her and nurse her back to health again, and so they changed changed it to ibuprofen. She overdosed on Advil instead of morphine in the final version of the mod. But I don't know. That's sorry. Not even sure where I'm going with this. A trope. Yeah, exactly. It's a trope. Um, when being forgetful is a character trait. Yeah. Yeah. The whole trope of wanting to be the hero instead of doing the sensible thing of like taking her to see a doctor or whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Yeah, serving almost conscious pain, fever, interrupting any hope for rest. She would resist Claudia and me for being too close, but couldn't muster the strength to flee or force us away. Each time we'd step back and give her space so she would be still and fall back asleep, then Claudia and I would resume our work. Pepper, also looking like she got no sleep, kept appearing, checking up on us. Dawn finally broke, and now I'm making Shimi some broth. I'm current task, broth. Yeah. Trying to dispel the insane notion of some siren from the ethereal calling me into the closet in the middle of the night. I got no sleep, so of course I'm having crazy thoughts. Broth achieved, yeah. um, yeah, I mean, if we're considering that there is some sort of, I don't know, psychic connection, or hey, maybe there's some telepathy going on that called everyone to her when she was in distress. Hey, maybe that's the reason that we had that weird scene where he wasn't sure what he was doing in his room. Whenever that scene occurred, I don't know. Maybe Protag is being influenced in a lot of subtle ways that he's not aware of. Anyway, hopefully we can get Shimi to eat, but pressing on my mind, most troubling within this situation is the faint smell from her tail. Bad, like death. I didn't notice it till Claudia pointed it out to me. Now it's all I can think about. Oh hey, her broken tail that Goro specifically said, hey, call this doctor if her tail starts looking worse. Like, specifically about the tail, if nothing else. Anyway. I covered her arm and tail with an extra thick coat of the first aid cream when I redid the bandaging. The full and pathetic extent of my medical knowledge. The mood in my room is hauntingly familiar. Dad in the hospital, he never fully regained consciousness. Trying to resist the memories is futile. They seem to creep back every time I look at Shimi. I have broth. Half awake, Shimi doesn't want to eat. Through her pale lips and drooping eyelids, the expression on her face changes from sallow, ashy exhaustion to something much more foreboding. Go ahead and try something, I dare you, look that stops me in my tracks, but I have to try. Although weak, she still reacts to the spoon like it's a weapon, the broth, a poison. Even after I send Claudia out of the room and shoo Pepper away from the door, attempting to create a quieter atmosphere, Shimi bares her teeth and weakly balls her fists when I try to bring it close to her. What's worse is that she trembles as if in great pain. I feel cowardly saying to myself, yeah, it just occurred to me, she appears to be lying on her left side. Isn't her left arm the injured one? Oh well. Anyway, I feel cowardly saying to myself, I don't want to spill soup on you. But really, I'm nervous. I don't know how to manage her now. Have I ever? I put the bowl on the bedside table and leave her to rest. Maybe, hopefully, she'll eat it on her own. Yeah. Incidentally, yeah, if he has been filling her with antihistamines, I mean, it's like, that's an anti-allergy medication, as in suppresses the immune system medication. Like, it's if she's had a fever this whole time, it could be that he's been making her worse every time he drugs her. You know, not that I'm an expert in these things, but anyway, moving on. Maybe hopefully she'll eat it on her own. The closet door stands open, spilling stale unease into the hallway. I'm taken back to it, back to the feeling of a something that woke me up and pulled me to the closet, and a something else that was in there hovering over Shimi. What the hell happened last night? Stagnant air, etc., etc. Yeah. You know, common foreshadowing something terrible is about to happen, etc. Anyway, what the hell happened last night? Movement in the closet shakes me, stealing the thought. I gasp, and the ability of my knees to support my body weight nearly escapes me. Neither fight nor flight take hold of me. I'm paralyzed. It's coming out of the closet now. Claudia, she's taking Shini's nest apart, getting all of her blankets and pillows ready for laundry. Her tired eyes widen, matching mine, now spooked by the face I'm making about imaginary phantoms in my hall closet. I shake my head to clear the crazy thoughts away, quickly recovering, but still feeling ashamed of my irrational moment. Good idea, Claus. Let's wash those things. She studies me. No blame. What? Shimi, sick, inculpable, not a fault. Inculpable? I mean, I'm assuming she's saying it's trying to say that it's not Protag's fault. It takes more than a moment to understand her meaning. Not my fault. Apparently, I haven't been hiding my feelings very well. Not my fault. I wish I could believe her. I mean, I'm sure she's right, but her words can't touch the guilt. The feeling that I should have done something differently, that I should have acted sooner. Would a wildcat even have let me? Claudia and I spend the morning doing chores. It's as good as a distraction as any other. Pepper, however, isn't interested in giving Shimi space. Every time I check on Shimi, I find Pepper at my bedroom door, listening and looking like she wants to peek inside. I keep shooing her away, but I can't think of anything to occupy her, so she keeps returning. No one is really hungry at lunchtime despite missing breakfast. I only managed to get halfway through a cup of tea. By mid-afternoon, Pepper's impatience becomes contagious, and I find myself back in my bedroom. The atmosphere of the room has changed again, an even darker scene now, like the shadows have escaped the closet and found her. Shimi, her damp hair matted to her face and the pillow, lies in a deep, uneasy sleep. Her clothes and the sheets all are soaked, her pasty, waxy skin shimmers under beads of sweat. The bowl of broth is untouched. Shimi burns like a radiator. I sit with her. I don't know what else to do. Periodically, her face twitches and she stiffens. Soft, tortured moans and the scrunching of nose and eyes tells the tale of a battle that rages deep inside her. Pain, different now from the pain of her injuries, which were healing, and hanging about her very faint, as if outside and coming through the window is a sickening sweet aroma of decay. The hint of rot and burnt copper that sticks in your throat is instantly recognizable, even if you've never smelled it. It touches some primitive part of the brain, pervasive and offensive, unmistakable. But it isn't coming from outside, it's coming from Shimi. Claudia returns the broth to the kitchen, coming back a moment later with a fresh bowl of ice water and a small cloth. I dab at Shimi's fever with the cool, damp towel, but the heat keeps coming off her in waves. She's worse than I allowed myself to believe. She no longer reacts to Claudia and me being within touching distance, no longer retreats from our closeness, no longer glares at me. I can't seem to stop myself, even though I know it's pointless. I grab it and shake her as gently as I can. Shimi? Dad, he looks the same way. No, lying on that hospital cot, it was so long ago, but I recognize that weak shiver and glassy stare like it was yesterday. Shimi! Shimi doesn't respond to me. The feeling of helplessness burns like her fever. I just don't know what to do. Oh, now she's incapacitated. Better use his phone to touch her. Yeah. Anyway. Sashimi, need doctor. Pepper stands at the end of the bed. It's the first time she's come into the room since I brought Shimi in. Her voice is quiet but assured and insistent. Sashimi, need doctor, now. She punctuates her statement by handing my phone to me. She's right. I know she's right, but how do I explain to Pepper that I can't take Shimi to a hospital because they don't treat Nikos like they treat people? A hospital will just put her to sleep. Yes, thank you, yeah. And the animal has proven smarter than you. Yeah. And I need a car to take her there. No taxi or rideshare is going to let me put a wild, sick Neko in the back of their car. Okay, this confirms that he doesn't have a car. I mean, I kind of figured that anyway. You know, and I guess the car that Mia used to run over the Neko in the previous, before this thing started, was her own car. Anyway, an ambulance may eventually come if I call them, but there'd also be the same, an injection. More likely the police will come instead. Carless behavior, yeah. Goro, friend. What? Yes, Goro's still my friend, but I can't call him. He's... No. She points at my phone. Pepper's eyes remain insistent, glaring at me as hard as she can, willing me to understand. Oh, you mean Goro's friend, the shady medical guy. The night when... He really completely forget about that? That completely? The night when Goro treated Shimi, he gave me that phone number, but Pepper was in her bedroom. How does she know about that? Now. She points again at the phone. She must have come and hid close by, listening the whole time to me and Goro. Sneaky little vixen. Sneaky little vixen? Vixen? What is this word, choice of word to describe Pepper? Anyway. Okay. I'm simply grateful she heard that what we were talking about and that she remembered any of it. Sawbones is the name of the contact. Goro's aunt, Mia, Mom, Sawbones, Veronica. Is that the entire list of his contacts? He really is a loner, isn't he? Near the bottom of my contacts list is the number for Goro's less than legitimate medical guy. Shady dude, he said I could call if things turn bad with Shimi. Yeah, this qualifies. Goro listed him simply as Sawbones, not exactly a comforting nickname. A single unfinished ring and an unpleasant voice asks, "What?" I've interrupted a meal. His spirited chewing echoes into my ear. A deep breath and a look at Shimi cause the words to leap from me. I have a problem. There's no reply other than his unabated chewing. It's awkward. Not knowing what else to do, I continue. I need a doctor. You know, Protag, you could start by saying, Goro suggested I call you, so that you have that connection. And, okay, well, whatever. Anyway, he swallows loudly. I think you got the wrong number. If you're having an emergency, you should call an ambulance. I can't, they'll just kill her. I cut him off with words I didn't mean to say. It gets him to stop chewing temporarily. Then another bite and more chewing. Not that it matters, but I think he's eating a sandwich. The crunch of lettuce and crusty bread mixed with something moist. With a mouth still full of food, I might not be up to date with all the latest cutting-edge medical practices, but I'm pretty sure most hospitals frown on murder as a treatment option. Just doesn't jive with that whole first do no harm thing. It's a neko. You know that if I call an ambulance, they'll put her down. I sound pathetic and I don't care. I don't want that, and I can't do this by myself, so are you going to help me or not? Again, you're not even going to say, Goro suggested I call you? Like, not mention it's a feral, yeah. Anyway, moving on. My attempt to not sound desperate fails dismally. There's another pause. The silence evokes panic in me. Did he hang up? Alright, no need to get snappy. His resumed chewing is actually welcome this time. He takes down my address, telling me between bites he'll be there. Later. He's infuriatingly vague about the time. Claudia and I take turns dabbing the wet cloth on Shimi's forehead and face. Pepper and I uselessly pace around each other. Purple hair, nice. Sawbones carries a medical bag and a practiced half smile. Both the bag and smile are different from the ones Goro carried. He wears a lab coat over the type of one piece that most doctors, nurses, and medical people wear when doing medicine outside of a hospital. The boots are an odd touch. I appreciate you coming. No names. Names come with baggage. Nice place. Sorry. Was Protag actually about to mention his name for the first time there? He's been a seemingly deliberately unnamed protagonist thus far. Anyway. He shuts down the introductions and closes the door. As Sawbones looks around, it feels like he's doing an appraisal. Something about it doesn't sit well with me. And after a brief pause, I gotta be honest here, Chief. She looks healthy to me. I follow his gaze towards the kitchen. Pepper is there, studying Sawbones suspiciously. Pepper, fine. Sashimi need doctor. He turns to me confusedly, his lips pursed. Is she trying to tell me she ate spicy hot peppers or bad sushi? No, it's... I've been working with Negos for years. I still can't make sense of half the stuff they say. Wait, it's not her, it's a different neko. Sawbones' eyebrows attempt to leap into his hairline. 2 nekos? I never met anyone that had 2 nekos. Good for you. You've officially become the most interesting person I've met all week. That should be an insult to both of us. Yeah. He pats me on the shoulder and grins. I feel like crying. Part of me wants to yell to berate him. I called him here to help and he's making bad jokes. Pepper leaps forward, snatching Sawbones by the arm. Sashimi, this way. Let's go. And drags him down the hall to my room. I rush to keep up with them. Pepper stays out of the room, peering in from the doorway. Sawbones takes in the scene. Shimi in the bed, with Claudia next to her holding Shimi's hand. He wears a very dark expression as he studies Shimi, as if he's seen this before and doesn't like it. Then Sawbones smirks as his gaze moves from each of us in turn, ending on me. Yeah. This seems like a time it would be good to, communicate details to the guy. Like, like not that I'm a medical expert or anything, but I mean, it might help for him to know that she has previous injuries, like broken arm and broken ribs, and half blinded, and has been on a diet of antihistamines for the past week or two, or however long it's been. Like, there are a lot of details it would be really good to communicate to him, and Protag is not dealing with. He's not really dealing with any of this very well, to be honest. But whatever. Moving right along. Oh yeah, and there's an ad break coming up in 4 minutes 45 seconds. Sabo's smirk says gaze moves from each of us in turn, ending on me. 3 Nekos. Are you trying to start a band? Never mind. I don't want to know. Not here to judge. He sounds amused and clearly judging. Claudia looks worried. Pepper looks irritated. Shamey looks terrible. I bite hard on the inside of my cheek in an attempt to keep myself calm. I'm guessing my patient is the pale one sweating through the sheets? I nod. And the big protective-looking one? Come here, Claudia. Let's give the doctor room, okay? Claudia rises from the bed and stands with me. Sawbones moves to examine Shimi. Yeah, seriously, like Protag is just not going to communicate anything. He's just not going to say anything about her injuries, anything. Okay. Savage. Yeah, careful, she's wild. The best ones always are. No, I mean she's feral. He stops abruptly. A feral? You got hit by a car, so we... Feral? 3 Nekos, one in your bed is feral? I changed my mind. I do want the details. His grin says, this is going to make a great story when I tell it later. Okay, here we go. I explain about Shimi being in my bushes and her injuries and bring her inside. I talk about the feeding and wound care and the antihistamines. Tell him about the trust we built and then how she stopped coming out to eat. Ad break in 3 minutes. Anyway. The whole story pours out of me with not enough punctuation and too much desperation. Sawbones just takes it all in. When I'm finally out of words and breath, he puts his bag down. So, here's the deal. I don't do feral. Nobody does. You'd have to find a complete lunatic for that. He stares hard at me. I open my mouth to beg him to reconsider, but he cuts me off. Since we don't have one of those here with a medical degree, I might as well take a look. He asks when I last gave her any antihistamines, then kicks us out. I need you and the other 2/3 of your neko collection to go wait in your living room or something that's not here. Be quiet. The last thing I need is a feral getting spooked and messing up my rugged good looks. Part of me doesn't trust the guy. I just don't have any other choice. I usher Pepper and Claudia out of the room, but linger a moment longer. Ignoring Sawbones, my eyes don't want to leave Shimi. 2 minutes to ad break. Nekos are doing better things better than you. Yeah. Anyway. I feel like I'm never going to see her again. Hey. His tone is soft, nurturing. Go on. Let me do my thing. I busy myself making tea and milk tea, anything to distract the quiet panic that is chewing on my belly from the inside. Claudia silently helps while Pepper paces back and forth, pausing each time to look down the hallway. I know. I'm worried too. We settle down the best we can and wait. Has anyone ever told me the mask is supposed to cover your nose? It's like, we went through a pandemic. That's something that's been beaten into me, a whole lot. I mean, it's supposed to cover your nose, mouth, and chin. And if he's a doctor, he's supposed to know that. Oh well. Anyway, Sawbones comes out of the bedroom and detours to the bathroom. Finally, he joins us at the table, clearly concerned. He gives a long exhale, but doesn't speak right away. The knot in my belly tightens. Claudia pours him a cup of tea, and I'm startled by his sudden change of demeanor. Ah, thanks. You got any biscuits or cookies? The three of us stare at him. I have no idea how to respond. Claudia looks at me. I nod to her, and she heads to the kitchen to fetch cookies. Sawbones finishes a cup of tea, then pours himself another. Claudia turns with cookies. Finally, and with a note of seriousness, I hope you're not attached to her tail, because it's barely attached to her. Dead meat. Needs to come off. Oof. Outbreak is imminent. Maybe I'll get a jump start on that break. I will be right back. And I'm back again. Sorry, still numbing my snack. um, anyway, moving right along. Um, yeah, so Sawbones is saying he's going to have to cut her tail off, or amputate her tail, I suppose. Well, moving right along. He studies me as I nod and follow what he's saying. There's something he's not telling me or taking way too long to get to. But that's not the biggest problem. His habit of pausing for effect is a problem too. I try to move things along. And what's the biggest problem? Infection. She's got a bad one, much too advanced for the stuff I have with me. I'll need to get a range of stronger antibiotics for her system to have any kind of chance against it. Stuff isn't cheap. Yeah, hey, this is another reason why it might have been a good idea to communicate with him what's going on before he came over. But what do I know? Anyway, here it is. I was worried about this moment. I really don't have a lot of money right now. My monthly allotment is already half gone. So what's its monthly allotment? Okay. I mean, I suppose he could probably contact his mom for more money. Anyway, if it was just a snip job, docking her tail, it would be cheap. I'd be done already. It's the infection. Negas aren't human, so I have to get the stuff that won't fry her kidneys. He pauses again to let it sink in. And there's no guarantee she'll survive it. The reality is, she's in very bad shape. Likely past the point of saving. Each of his words is a knife to the gut. Pepper keeps tensely looking at Sawbones and me, back and forth. Claudia appears lost in thought, gazing at the empty glass in front of her. One ear locked on each of us. So, I can put her down. Put her down? The words make Claudia and Pepper look at the doctor, then expectantly to me. Sawbones pauses, keeping his eyes squarely on mine. Before I can process what he's telling me, he adds, "If it was me, that's what I'd do. The fever it could mess up her head. She could get vicious, dangerous, violent." He emphasizes the comment by pointing at Claudia, Pepper, and me with the cookie in his hand. His gaze moves from each of us in turn, ending on me. Or she might just suffer for a day or three and then die in agony anyway. So, putting her to sleep is the kinder option. He empties the teapot into his cup and sits back, chewing on a cookie, awaiting my reply. Violent, dangerous, agony. I rub the scab on my wrist. His warning is not lost on me. I can't believe that Shimi has no chance, but I don't want her to suffer. It would be selfish and cruel to do that. Oh, wait, am I actually considering this? Could I tell him, sure, go into my bedroom, murder her, kill Shimi, because that's what he's saying? Well, interesting that he's using the word murder in this case. Like, is he thinking about Shimi like a person, perhaps? Anyway, because that's what he's saying. I try and form a sentence and reply something to him, but I'm unable to find any words to express my thoughts. I need a moment. Gotcha. But make it quick. Time isn't her friend. Better an hour early than a minute too late. Hey, Big Blondie, got any more cookies? Pie would be great. Sawbones' words echo inside my skull and out into the deep emptiness of the night. Time isn't her friend. The past few weeks I haven't even thought about time. It's just been a blur of dealing with Neko is occasionally broken up by cooking, and now time is the enemy. Sorry. Echoes out into the deep emptiness of the night. Sorry, how much time has passed? Has he let hours elapse or something here? Like, he's talking about it as though she has a few days at most. Um, anyway, I don't even know what day it is. Hmm. This will save time. It takes time. Time is short. We have all the time in the world. I'm going to kill some time. Time. How much does Shimi have left? That depends on me, on my decision. He said that she could recover. She could be fine. He also said she could suffer in agony for a few days, maybe get violent and hurt us and still die. Don't worry, I'm not putting her down. Unless you want me to? The words bite into my mind like a rattlesnake, injecting venom, melting all logic and reason. All that is left is a static of incoherent thoughts. I fight the wash of white noise that fights back. One image surfaces. How much time has passed? What an excellent question. I mean, yeah. Maddie? Your comment there feels like a little like people, those certain people in well, yeah, I'm going to turn it later. Certain people who, like, for example, if they're watching a first timer play DDLC, they come into the chat saying things like, "Hey, you want to hang out, Sayori? Hey, let's hang out, Sayori. Oh, don't leave Sayori hanging. Hey, she said she's leaving Sayori hanging." You know, like that sort of comment. That's I'm giving you a wary side eye there. What is this? What is this comment? But yeah, there have been aside from this point here, there have been a number of points where I've sort of wondered about how much time has elapsed because it's sort of unclear, and that's part of the framing device in some ways. I mean, he's someone like I mean he's pretty clearly spelled it out here. Is that um, he's always felt like he's had all the time in the world. Like he's sort of in a state where he's just he's unemployed. He's been living off of the insurance money from his dad's accident. Um, Nothing like that. I would not spoil. Sure, sure. um, I I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just I'm just gonna move on. um, it's left to the static of incoherent thoughts. I fight the wash of white noise. It fights back. One image surfaces. I see Shimia as if I were lying next to her, impotently striking at her raging fever with the flaccid damp cloth. Even sedated Shimi has a look of wild, dark, churning fury. She's an approaching storm, a bear trap ready to snap. I can end her suffering, or I can spend all of our money and maybe she'll recover. More likely spend all our money and add to her pain, only prolong the inevitable. God damn it, is there even a right choice, or just bad ones? Yeah. I'm reminded of yeah. I had I had a pet snake some years back. Her name was Diamond. I had her for 6 years, and she passed away very suddenly one night. Well, I mean, from my perspective, it was sudden. Like it looks like it was very drawn out while I was out at a party at the time. That was pre-pandemic. Um, and in a lot of ways, it's probably better that it happened when I wasn't around. Like, because I don't know, like, um, just what am I trying to say here? Like, just sometimes I wonder, like if I had been here, like, what would I have done? Like, take it to her vet and raked in, like, brought up like huge veterinary fees, which might not have helped anyway. I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. Is there even a right choice or just bad ones? When Dad died, I didn't get a choice. I didn't get to decide anything. If it was Dad instead of Shimi, what would I do? End his suffering or inflict more agony on him just to leave him with me for a little longer? Which one would he have chosen? Could I really end Shimi's life even in the name of mercy? I can only see the weight of that crushing me down to nothing. How would I explain this to Pepper and Claudia? They'll never look at me the same way again. My blood pumps fierce and cold. I don't want to make a decision, but when has what I want ever factored into anything? Time doesn't care, it just ticks away. Oh, and you get a choice? Oh, this is rough. Well, this is rough. So my options are do whatever it takes to save Shimi, or mercifully end Shimi's suffering. Well, crap. I mean... Well. You know, sorry, right, this is happening right at a point where I was like, I'm feeling pretty hungry. I was like nomming some food in the during the break there. I was considering wrapping up the stream. Well, I can't wrap it up now, or can I? I should just save game, end stream now. Just leave that cliffhanger. No, I probably should pick something here. Great. Now I have to reason out philosophy of mortality while on an empty stomach. I mean, yeah, like hey, you know, there are fates worse than death. Maybe you know, dragging out the suffering and leaving her in agony just so she can live a few more days. You know, it just, you know, just isn't worth it, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm what do I even say here? Just feels like there's a lot to consider. I can't help reflecting on Diablo Graves, who worked on this game. I'm not quite sure exactly how much of a capacity he worked on it, but he comes to mind because without, you know. In case Diablo's watching this, sorry, I don't mean to open old wounds or anything, but I know he had a pet cat pass away not too long ago that meant a lot to him, and I believe he did, you know, spend a lot on medical bills trying to, you know, save him and extend his life. Which, you know, might you know, contribute to his reason for wanting to you know, take part in this project, and why he tried to nudge me in the direction of playing this in the first place. Though I still suspect there's more going on than that, but you know, Like we don't we know very little about Shimi, about what she might want in in life or whatever. And it's not like we can ask her what she would want. Does she want, would she want to, what am I trying to say here? Like, there comes a point, in, for example, like human cancer patients, there comes a point where the cancer might get to a point where the treatment is worse than the cure, or sorry, the treatment is worse than the disease. Like there comes a point for some like terminal cancer patients where it's like better to make their last moments comfortable than to subject them to chemo, which is like a very unpleasant treatment and makes you feel like crap for weeks or months on end. And maybe foregoing that and ending up having a shorter lifespan is better than trying to drag it out in the hopes that maybe you can live a little bit longer and maybe succumb to it anyway. You know what I mean? Like I said, some fates are worse than death. Like if it was me, if I was suffering from a terminal injury or illness or whatever, like I don't want to be a burden to others. Like I'd be like, whatever, just let me go, pull the plug. Like I want to like if I have any purpose in this life, I would hope it is to help other people, if I'm just a burden to others, that's not a life I would want for myself, But that is like hypothetically my choice. Having to make that choice for someone else, like that's harder. Like, would Shimi want a possibly agonized struggle for life that lasts maybe only just a few days longer? That's why I say, like, what does she want? We don't really know what her motivations are, or what her history is. I don't know. I mean, in terms of doing whatever it takes to save her, I suspect that Protag can still turn to his mom for money, perhaps. I mean, she has an income, doesn't she? She moved away. I'm presuming she has some income. I don't recall it saying specifically what her job is or whatever. I think she has income beyond just the monthly disbursement from the dad's insurance or whatever. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'm making a lot of assumptions here. And besides, Protag might not even think to do that. Anyway, putting a lot of trust in the dense guy who didn't even consider calling Sawbones in the first place until Pepper put the phone in his hand. But yeah, I don't know. Even considering all this, the whole mercifully end Shimi's suffering, it feels like a terrible choice. That like that you do, like you want to have that on your conscience, like I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like a lot of the difficulty comes from um, like not knowing anything about her or what her wants are, and if you do whatever it takes to save her option, like is he doing it for her or is it just for his own conscience or whatever? Um, what am I trying to say here? um, Little Girl said a few things about Shini before. Yeah, this is a good stream. Oh, thanks. I do my best. um, this has been another Tormuse tangent. Well, I mean, I'm reminded of my I did a stream series. I guess it wasn't last year. I think it was the year before last. Wow, how long have I been streaming now? It's been a couple years at least. Um, but yeah, I did a stream series of a horror game called Soma, which deals with mortality, and there was another really difficult moral choice in that one. Shoot, I guess maybe I shouldn't spoil it. But it does center around, um, choosing whether to just merciful mercifully end characters' suffering or just let them live in a state where they're basically going to be in a hellish existence. Broth. Great, yeah. It's funny. Yeah. Ultimately, in that case, I think I ended up deciding to let him live, but I don't know. I also sort of feel like I don't know if it was the best decision. Yeah. I believe you said it's feisty and has few more lives left. Don't start on leading comments like that now. I mean I do feel anyway, like I think I'm leaning towards the do whatever it takes to save Shimi, just because I have a suspicion that there's more, like particularly with the this thing about him being drawn to the closet and yeah, what am I saying here? What am I trying to say here? Like it just sort of feels like there's more to her than what's immediately being led on, and and what am I trying to say here? I don't know. Maybe that's too meta an angle for me to be Silver Tracer Gods. Yeah, it's too meta a direction for me to be considering this from. Thinking, oh well, the writer of the story wouldn't put this in here and etc. If it was just going to have an agonizing death afterward, and I don't know. I'm trying not to consider too much from that sort of meta angle. Um, um, but yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. Mercifully end Shimi's suffering. It comes back to what I was saying in the previous stream about how Protag's internal monologue goes back and forth between referring to Shimi as her and Shimi, or it and the feral. I need to dwell on the choice till next stream. Yeah, sure. um, like it's trying. Like both of these options seem to be trying to frame it in a positive light, trying to frame it as you know, doing it for her benefit. Like even the mercifully, it says mercifully end Shimi's suffering rather than, you know, just like put her down or whatever, or put it down or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's framed in a way that is, you know, meant to come across more compassionate or whatever. I guess to make it the more tempting option in some ways. Yeah. Incidentally, Soma is a fantastic game. I mentioned it earlier. I just wanted to mention that it deals with some difficult topics surrounding identity, what it means to be alive, what is the meaning of life, what life is worth living, and so on. In addition to being a cool, creepy horror game. Whatever it takes. No, don't say it that way. Isn't that? Oh, sorry. No, it's no. Sorry. For a second there, I was thinking you were invoking the no matter what clause from club meetings as a very different context. Anyway, yeah, I've been pausing over this for the past half hour or so. Anyway, like acknowledging all of this, yeah, I'm still leaning towards the do whatever it takes to save Shimi option. I mean, I don't know, like at the very least, I mean, if we can reach a point where she's got some cognizance of what's happening, we can, I don't know, get some form of consent from her. Although I do not trust Protag's ability to recognize any need for the capacity of consent in her. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with the do whatever it takes to save Shimi option. Here we go. The game is saved. Let's move on. A core part of me doesn't want to make any decision. It wants to flee, to run away and hide, to simply go numb and feel nothing. it conjures Mia in an attempt to turn off my feelings for Shimi, just like I've been doing with my feeling about the breakup. Of all things right now, goddamn Mia, I hear the words she used aimed at Claudia now focus on Shimi. It's just a neko, my quiet demand stated in a regular, measured voice. Get rid of it. Oof. F you, Mia. You in this world that takes and takes, you can both go to hell. Dad, I wasn't given a choice then, but I have one. But now I have one. Not fighting for Shimi would be shutting my eyes again. I refuse to box up my feelings or close myself off and hide anymore. I won't lose her. Not like I lost you, Dad. Not without a fight. I stride inside, coolly meeting Sawbones' waiting stare and doing my best to calm my racing heartbeat. I heard that murder is an improved treatment. It doesn't jive with first do no harm. Hey, it's your money. As long as you understand up front what's likely to happen, I'm game. I like a challenge. He pauses again. You do understand. It will get ugly. And she probably won't make it. Shimi's feral. She's cheated death who knows how many times already. Now she's my responsibility. She trusts me. How much? He tells me how much, and seems to anticipate my reaction before I'm able to hide it. It's way more than I have. My mind is already racing, trying to think of ways I can quickly get cash. There's no one I can borrow from. Maybe I can sell my TV and some other things. I'm sure I can come up with... He slowly shakes his head. You understand. I don't operate on credit. Pun intended. Operate, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he's working under the table, he has to, he's probably going to want cash. I can get the money, just give me a few days. Your cat doesn't have a few days. I try to come up with some argument, but I can't find any words. I just don't have that much money. Sawbones pauses for a long time before finally looking around. Tell you what. I'm a reasonable guy. A reasonably nice guy. You must have something around here that would cover the cost. There is one thing. Wait here. What could he be thinking of? What could he be thinking of? I move down the hallway, the distance seeming to slightly and impossibly stretch and lengthen as I get closer to Shimi and her sickness. The air feels thicker. A trick of the eye. It's all in my head. The only light in the room is the lamp next to the bed. It's eerily quiet. Shimi is completely still. I stare at her for a long time before I'm able to notice any sign that she's still breathing. Opening my top dresser drawer, the only one that doesn't have clothes in it, I pull out the box where I keep the monthly allotment of cash I get to cover all our expenses. I already know it won't be enough. I hesitate a long time before reaching in and taking out the only other thing that's in the box. It's heavy, solid, the only real thing of value I own. Dad's watch. Mom gave it to me after he died. It's all I have left of him. I carry the cash and the watch over to my bed and sit next to Shimi. Her fevered sweat has saturated the sheets and pillow. Her skin is absent of all but the tiniest blush of color. She's the most fragile looking I've seen her yet. A part of me has no idea why I'm considering doing this. If Mom knew I was thinking of trading Dad's watch to treat a feral neko, she would disown me. I hold the watch tightly. The heavy, cold metal, the silence of the room, and the crypt-like lighting all seem to foretell a bad end to the Shimi story. Yeah. I mean, I suppose maybe asking his mom for money wasn't the best of options anyway, after all. But, I can't say I expected it to go in the direction of him giving up the only thing he has to remember his father by. But it does sort of underscore the fact that he's giving up a lot to help someone that he doesn't even really know. Um, anyway, moving right along. The devil picks this moment to lay into me. She's just a feral. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm now, and I'm contemplating, like, if coming back to what I was saying before, like, if it was me in real life, and this was you know, some feral cat that I found, um, I probably would opt in the direction of just, you know, just putting the cat down, if I'm honest. Um, you know, some cat that I don't own and don't know, like, I mean, it's like harder if it's a pet. It's something, you know, pets are family members, as I've said, you know, um, like, um, but it's like if it's someone you don't even know, it's like how do you justify spending that amount of money on it? On Anyway, moving right along. Devil pick his moment to play into me. She's just a feral. She's more than that to me. We owe her nothing. No, she trusted me somehow. I have an obligation to that trust. I wind Dad's watch. I have no idea what time it is, so I can't set it, but it doesn't matter. It begins ticking. Tiny mechanism engages in its precisely engineered manner, and it becomes alive. Second hand moving around the face of the watch. Maybe it will be this easy with Shimi? No idea what time it is. Does he not have a watch of his own? Besides this one? And this one he just kept in a box anyway? Which comes back to Maddie's comment earlier about how much time has passed. What an excellent question, etc. So yeah, like apparently Protag doesn't have a watch. It does not keep track of time at all. Anyway, moving right along. Is this even with Shimi? It won't. I put the watch and cash down and take her hand in both of mine. Her skin is clammy and damp. This is a very good idea. Wait, was that in response to the holding her hand, or the anyway? I put the once again, I'm a child. I'm in the hospital. Mom is crying. Dad is lying on the stretcher. I'm holding his hand that seems to be losing all of its warmth. As each second on his watch ticks, he feels colder and colder. She will likely die anyway, and she will definitely die if I don't do this. I just can't quit on her. Not while a single option still exists to make her better, no matter how thin those odds are. I can't. Won't let you go. I wipe away tears. The words die in my throat. Gonna make you better. Is that what I was about to say? Or yes, or maybe. I'm gonna do everything I can to make you better. Please hold on. We leave Sawbones with Shimi. He was quite impressed with the watch, quickly pocketing it with all of my cash. It's a good thing we have enough food in the house to get us through until the next month's disbursement comes in. Unfortunately, I'm going to be late paying some bills, which will mean also having to pay late fees. That is something that pisses me off to no end, by the way. Why are late fees a thing? It's like, oh, you don't have enough money, therefore you must give more money. This is logical. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's something wrong with it. I mean, it feels like an inherently predatory policy for companies to have, but that's my opinionated opinion. Anyway, moving on. It's going to be some time before I catch up again. Maybe I can sell some of my old manga and comic books if things get too tight. We're going to have some very basic meals for a while, but I think we'll be okay. I sent Pepper and Claudia to bed. Neither wanted to go, but they need the rest. For me, I foresee another night without much sleep. As I wait, two concerns battle for attention in my head. How Sawbones and Shimi are doing, and what will happen if Mom ever finds out what happened to Dad's watch? When he calls me in, I hesitate for a moment to clear my thoughts so I can absorb what he tells me. The easy part is done. A lot of her tail was necrotic, so there's not much left. Oof. He did make the comment that it spelled like death earlier, but yeah, I probably should have taken her to the doctor sooner than that. Oh well. I'm going to clean up and head out. I'll be back tomorrow for the hard part, addressing the infection. Another signature pause. But she may not make it that long. And if for some reason I can't get the meds, well, he shrugs. Sawbones gathers up several mostly empty orange-colored trash bags. Presumably it's all the medical waste, absorbent pads, packaging, and most of Shimi's tail. Oof. I help him carry the stuff to his car. He looks down at my father's watch. No, his watch. The watch I used to buy a chance for Shimi. For once he lacks the smart-ass smile that's been on his face almost all night. I appreciate it. Until tomorrow. Call me if she doesn't make it that long. And then he's gone. My room smells of disinfectant. Shimi is on her side, unconscious. She lies atop several large clean absorbent pads. A tube from her arm leads to a bag of clear fluid that hangs from the bedside lamp. Shimi's tail, what's left of it, protrudes from under the sheet. The small stub abruptly ends in a roundish ball of medical gauze and tape. As I collapse into my chair, tension again fills my belly. I would bet money I don't have that. I would bet money I don't have that there's no way I'll be able to sleep tonight. Yet, sleep does come, and the dreams it brings are strange and unhelpful. Ah, darn. Said I was thinking of wrapping up the stream. Is there a full stream's worth of content left in this? Like, I'm wondering if this is this coming to an end, or I don't know. I'll keep reading for a moment at least. How did it get so late so soon? It's night before it's afternoon. December is here before it's June. My goodness, how the time has flown. How did it get so late so soon? I guess that's a poem that I'm not familiar with. Well, there's a picture of Shimi on the wall. There's Claudia with her mom, and there's Pepper with Goro, and anyway, I'm thinking, as much as it's, a wee bit of a cliffhanger, I think I might... Everything of Shimi's in 2 bags. Oof. So that's the title of the chapter. I mean, that title in itself seems to suggest that she's on her way out, but whatever. I mean, I don't know how much is left of the game. If it is like coming right up to the end and we're about to hit tasty broth, yeah. if we're about to hit denouement or whatever, then I can probably fill in the rest of the stream with the extras. So it's all well and good. Yeah. So that was kind of rough. Um, moral choice moment. Um, dealing with mortality moment. Um, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say that I haven't said already. It's probably a good spot to stop. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So, if you want, you can look at chapters to see how much is left. Oh, I suppose. I think I'd rather be surprised. I'll, maybe I'll find out next time. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. For now, let me, see about who to raid. Um, I think I think I'm going to give a raid to Liz the Fantastic, who is currently playing Stardew Valley. She is a delight. It's always fun to watch. She's just a very pleasant person. Um, and so this will be not only a genre change, but a total mood change, I'm sure. um, but yeah, I think that'll be good. Um, Yeah, I'm trying to. I feel like I need to give some closing words on this whole thing. It's tough. Having to face that dread decision of, you know, putting down a pet, or you know, losing a family member, because pets are family members, or human family members for that matter. Oh yeah, I should hit the raid button, shouldn't I? Uh, is it? Yeah, Liz underscore the fantastic. There he is. There she is. um, yeah, I don't know. It's what can I say? It's rough. It's it's I don't know. I've already talked a whole lot about it. Maybe I should just reserve further comment on it for when we've reached the end of this thing. Um, but yeah, that's all for now. Until next time.